What is up, Giants fans and Rush family? Welcome to day 2 of the New York Giants Rush Fan Appreciation Draft Show. Excited about talking draft with all the fans here tonight, getting it going. Craig said he wanted a little chaos hosted tonight, so Joker is in the house. But excited about everybody being here, excited talking football, and joining me here tonight, we have the Truth. So let me bring him in. Truth, how we doing, man?
What's going on? What a great day one, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
It was what I anticipated. I think a lot of us did. A lot of shocks, and we'll get into that. Some of these picks, but I'm happy with the pick we got.
I am too. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what the fans got to say tonight as we bring on of last night, some other things. So. We're gonna bring a little chaos tonight, Truth. You know, so I know Craig had you on because he wants you to keep me in check. Joker's loose, but okay. You have to keep me in check, man. So I know. So we got our first guest backstage. Looks like we have Giants fan 1187 coming on. So we're gonna go ahead and bring him on and kick things off here. Hey, how we doing, man? Welcome, Lestat.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good. Enjoying the day off.
Nice. Where you at?
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta. All right. Nice. Are you from New York originally, or just an Atlanta native fan of the Giants?
From Brooklyn, New York, man.
Nice. Awesome. Love it. Well, glad to have you on, man. So first thing, what'd you think of the pick last night?
I loved it. I mean, the Giants had several needs. I mean, obviously, there's a large contingent that wanted a quarterback. But where we were, you know, it may not have been feasible. So management, they had to plan for more than one scenario. Getting an X factor on offense, especially losing Saquon, that was a top priority as well. And I'm happy with the player we got.
Awesome. Was there somebody that you wanted, that you had your eyes on, that you wanted them to get, or you were just hoping for whoever they got you were going to be happy with?
A little bit of both. If Drake May was a real possibility, you know, let him develop behind Daniel Jones and Locke, I would have been happy with that. Or if Marvin Harrison, you know, somehow fell to us, that would have been great. But Malik has a little bit of everything, you know, to help, you know, jumpstart the offense and make things easier for the quarterback.
Yeah, nice. Who do you is there somebody you're leaning towards tonight? Do you have any guesses on kind of who you think are, you know, they're going to go with tonight in rounds 2 and 3?
I got a feeling maybe defensive back or interior offensive line. I think there's going to be a short run on wide receivers at the top of the draft because there was a plenty that had first round grades that didn't go. I think A.D. Mitchell from Texas, he's probably going to be the first player off the board in the second round.
Yeah.
Well, who's picking first? Buffalo, right?
This is still Buffalo. Out, right? Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, historically, from what I've seen, round 2, you know, things can get a little hectic because everybody's board changes dramatically after the first 20 picks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, man, what'd you think of Atlanta going with Penix?
Oh, I was actually in a sports bar last night, and there was some Falcons fans in there. Half of them were literally celebrating, and the other half were like, what the hell is this? And, you know, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. If Kirk Cousins was on like a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, it makes perfect sense. But you gave him a 4-year deal, $100 million guaranteed, and you draft somebody that's already 24 and you're talking about maybe sitting him 4 years, that doesn't make much sense in my eyes.
No, especially when he's 24. Like if you sit him 3 or 4 years, right? Like,
well, how old was Aaron Rodgers when he finally got his shot?
I believe he was 24, 25.
When he finally got his shot, because he sat a pretty long time, didn't he, behind Favre?
Yeah, but when he came in, he was 21. So
yeah, he was young.
He waited 3 years, so he's only 24, going on 25. So he's still at a ripe age.
Okay.
I think the only one that really had a late start would be Kurt Warner. Like he's the only one I can really think of that got started at a later age, right? But he's an outlier. So
Yeah. That's a 1 in 1 million chance.
right, yeah, exactly. So you said you had half that were happy, half that weren't. What's kind of your take on with your thoughts on what Atlanta did there with that surprise?
I think that could have also been a contingent because they were not sure about the quarterback class next year. They may not be thrilled about the prospects coming out next year, or they may feel like, they're going to probably win a division, or they feel like that's their goal to win a division and make a playoff run. They won't be in a position to get one of those top quarterbacks next year. So grab the guy that's there, just get ahead of the curve.
Yep. I heard an interesting take today where somebody said that by the time, like if they're as successful as they think they're going to be, when they're due to have a quarterback, they won't be in a high enough range to pick. So now they have their quarterback and they don't have to worry about that when that time comes. And it's a contingency if something does happen to Kirk Cousins. Well, we've seen, he just got hurt last year and everybody else. So I thought that was an interesting take as well.
Yeah. And also it's a 5-year rookie deal, right? So,
yep.
When Cousins' contract runs out, then you got him to plop in, see what he can do his 5th year.
Yep. Exactly. So it's you're either a genius or you're the dumbest out there at this point, right? Like with that move.
Exactly.
I got a quickie. So after, if it wasn't going to be May, you weren't going to hope for JJ at 6. You were hoping they go for best player, like the wide receivers.
Yep. Best player. I mean, you don't ever want to force the quarterback, especially if he's not exactly what you need.
I think that's kind of where I was too. I like JJ, but not at 6. I wasn't comfortable with that.
And the type of offense that he played in, no fault of his own. He didn't get the exposure that the other quarterbacks got, so they may not have felt comfortable with. If there's a game where you're facing an elite run defense and you got to throw the ball 40 times a game, they may not have felt comfortable about him executing against an elite level defense.
Yep.
So what do you think about 6 quarterbacks, first 12 picks? Did you see that coming?
No, I didn't see that coming. But because of, the social media aspect that's been added to sports, sometimes the fans give management and teams that extra desperation to get the guy that they feel like they need, as opposed to just trusting the work that they've done. So,
yep. The one that didn't surprise me the most, because I was saying this for a while, was I was not surprised Nix went to Denver. He just seemed like a Sean Payton fit, right? Like he seemed like that Drew Brees type that would work in his offense. So that was the only one that really didn't surprise me as far as which team. So
and honestly, Malik Neighbors didn't surprise me either. I mean, just from all the mocks, if there weren't going to be any trades, that was probably going to be the guy that we were going to get. And, Daboll's style of offense, it's perfectly molded for that type of receiver. Yep. And, we've been missing that X factor at wide receiver. I mean, we got guys that can run good routes. We got guys with speed, but somebody that truly scares the defense, not just from a athletic standpoint, but from a mindset. Yep. I think we've been missing that for quite some time.
I agree, and I think he got his Stephon Diggs. Like I think he'll be he'll be more. He has the chance to be more productive. But again, that theory of he's got his Stephon Diggs that he can make work, and I think they'll be less predictable without Saquon there either, right? Like you don't know.
And you know what? I think that's what helped Eli Manning grow, because he couldn't give the ball to Tiki Barber 30 times anymore. They had to expand the offense. They had to diversify it, and I think this is that next transition.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they certainly did. They gave Eli some pretty good weapons. That was smart of Ernie Accorsi.
That's a great point. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot here because we got to bring some other people on. But I know you said DB or interior lineman. Put you on the spot. Who's the guy in the second and third round for the Giants? Who do you want? Who do you want? Put it on right now. Go on record. Make your prediction.
No particular order. Christian Hayes, interior offensive lineman. He showed a good nasty streak at the Senior Bowl. something the offensive line desperately needs.
Mm-hmm.
Third round, maybe Jalen Wright, running back, if he's available.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going
like
interior lineman and running back. Got it.
I like them. And listen, stick around in the comments if you can, because we're going to do a trivia question here a little later on too, with a chance to win one of Justin Pugh's straight off the couch shirts. So stick around so you can get a chance to win that too, man. And we appreciate being on, and we appreciate your support for the Rush family, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Go
Take
Giants.
care, man.
Go Giants.
Awesome. I love what he said about, Tiki and Eli. Not saying obviously Jones is going to be Eli, but it's a great point, right? They're more right now. You can't just stack up against and take away Barkley and know the whole offense is going to go to crap. So that was a great point right there. So again, we got some awesome fans, Truth, no doubt about it. We're kicking it off in a great spot, man, no doubt.
Very knowledgeable. They're very knowledgeable. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. So let me go ahead and bring in our next.
What do we got?
We got Nick coming up next, from what I see.
I haven't seen anything happening so far in the draft. I'll yell out when picks are made.
Yeah, I think it starts at 7. So, but
it's 7. That's right.
Yeah, it's 7. Right. Keep an eye out if there's any trades or anything going on, because you never know. But let's go ahead and bring our next fan in.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah, I love the shirt already, man. You rocking the skull. Nice. How we doing, Nick? How we doing? Thanks for being on, man. Thanks for being part of this.
Thanks for asking me. Give Craig my best. He did the right thing. I couldn't do it last year. I coached girls softball on the varsity level, and he wanted me on the show. We had games. As soon as he told me Friday, I knew we didn't have a game. I said, I'm in.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, I'm sure Craig's watching because he's going to make sure I'm doing a good job. You'll do a great job. You know how that goes, right?
He's in the chat.
I already saw him in the chat. Of course, he's peeping in, making sure. All love, Craig. All love. You're good, man. You know it. Where are you joining from tonight, here, Nick?
I live in Westchester County in New York.
Yeah.
Yorktown in particular. On the border of Putnam County. That area up there.
Nice. Who's your favorite Giant of all time, and who's your favorite current Giant?
So Harry Carson.
Ooh, nice.
And here's the reason why. I have to explain this. When the Giants weren't good, Harry was it. Harry was the man. Harry was the man. Yep. And he asked to be traded in the whole bit, and George Young said, no, you are not being traded. And he stayed on that team, and he was the catalyst and the captain of that Super Bowl team.
Yep. Absolutely.
So absolutely. My current favorite, Dexter Lawrence. I'm sorry. No. I coach varsity football. I coach the D-line and the O-line. Dexter Lawrence is the man. I just love him.
Okay. Big fan of Sexy Dexy. I like
it. Yep.
I mean, how can you not like him, right? Like, great personality, hell of a player. Like, what's not to like about the guy?
He's the type of guy that you want on your team. He's going to grind it out. He's going to beat people up. And you know what? He's going to make the other team work. And that's what you want from a guy like that. He's going to command a double team. And now that they got Burns, and it's just going to be like, who are you going to block?
Yeah.
Who are you going to double team?
I was just about to ask about Burns, because I can tell you're a defensive guy with the guys you've been naming already.
Oh, so, yeah.
Well, that's old school, right? Like, we go back to the days of the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, and yeah. So nice. All right. So you excited about the Burns trade then?
Oh, I was like, I don't want to say in shock, but I was like, what is Carolina doing? They're just going to get rid of everybody and start from scratch. I guess that's their plan, but he's like, to have Thibodeau on one side and him on the other, and Dexter Lawrence in the middle, and whoever else is going to be in that rotation as the 3 technique.
Yep.
They're just going to be a problem. And with that D line, that front 4, your D backs get better.
Yep.
Because if you're pressuring the quarterback, your D backs we're going to have takeaways. We're going to have more takeaways probably than we did last year.
Yep.
Because the D backs are going to be better because there's going to be more pressure on the quarterbacks.
I agree. And the middle linebackers have shored up a little bit
Oh.
better now too. You had some more competition there.
Yeah.
It's good. I think Riley will step up because obviously we know we have probably the best defensive tackle
Yeah,
coach.
he had a good rookie year.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And then you had Phillips that they brought over from Buffalo, who's just a huge dude, right?
Oh,
Like,
he's a mountain of a man, and
Yeah.
and you want Dexter Lawrence. Granted, you really want him on the field as much as you can, but you got to give him a break.
right.
And if you could get that big body in there to play that zero or that one eye,
Yep.
Yeah.
that's kind of size.
10 to
where
12
it-
snaps.
It
something like
commands
that,
a double
right?
team.
Yep.
It commands a double team. You know, that guard tackle. The guard center have to block this guy. It leaves Thibodeau and Burns to do damage. That's all that's going to do.
Yep. Well,
And it'll also keep linemen off of our interior linebackers, which means they're going to be free to tackle everybody.
Yep. Agree.
I,
So
I,
go ahead, Truth.
well, I still like to see him get another lineman, like a 3-tech kind of guy. I would like to see that. If they can do that in the draft, it'd be nice.
So, I don't think it'll be available but that guy from I wrote him down because I've been
Florida
watching
State?
Brandon Fisk.
Yeah,
Oh,
Florida State. Yeah,
Florida
I
State,
knew,
but I don't think
I
he'll
knew
be
you were gonna
available.
say him, Nick. I knew it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be available. Like I wrote down a lot of guys that I like, but I think at 47 you got to go D back.
Okay.
I think at 47 you have to go D back.
Yeah, that's what Johnny said.
and- I don't know who's going to be available. Jokingly, because I love his name, I like that kid from Alabama, Kool-Aid.
That's
So,
guy.
but I think he's good. I think he's really good. But his name is going to make theater in New York. You're laughing, but it is. It's going to make theater in New York.
So here's the question: if he's still on the board, you got Cooper DeJean still on the board. I don't think he's going to drop to 47.
No.
Would you be okay with the Giants trading up and taking him earlier, maybe second or third pick, if he's still there?
I'm not a big trade up guy. I want to see the value for it. If they trade up, what do they got to give? If they're giving like a 5th or a 6th round pick and trading their 47, their second round pick, I'm kind of good with that. But if they want like their 47 and their 70, no, I'm not.
No, they'll never. No, they won't.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all.
Gotcha. Yep. No, makes sense. Makes sense. Who? Well, going to last night, what did you think of last night's pick? Was there somebody you wanted at that spot? Are you happy? Give me your thoughts there.
If there wasn't, all right, I know everybody had this thing about JJ McCarthy.
Yep.
JJ McCarthy to me is Alex Smith. He's going to win you games, blah, 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 but I don't think he's taking you over the top. I don't think he's going to make your team that much better where they could be like going to the Super Bowl or in a Super Bowl run. Now, all right, we got Jones. We have to deal with it. I think he's going to play a lot better. I think we're going to see more of his year before, but I loved that they got Neighbors.
Okay.
In the beginning, I was kind of real high on Marvin Harrison, but Marvin Harrison disappeared for Ohio State in that championship game, and it just bothered me. The reason why I like Marvin Harrison because he's taller, and the more of that jump up. But Neighbors is just fast ain't the word.
Yeah.
And I was watching Bill Belichick was on, and he was saying this is like the guy he would have picked. So who you going to trust? These naysayers or are you going to trust a guy like Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to trust Bill Belichick.
Now that he's not coaching anymore, I'm going to trust him his opinion.
Right.
That's the same guy that at the end made Joe Judge and Matt Patricia offensive coordinators.
Oh
so,
God.
I don't. He had some motives. There's some. Yeah, he had some motives there because that was a head scratcher. But yeah.
Hey Nick, let me ask you a question. Do you think the Giants would use one of their 5 picks if they don't do a trade back for a quarterback in this draft?
Who's available? The only one I see available that I would like is Spencer Rattler, and I don't think you're going to get him further down in the draft. Like I don't even think you're going to get him at 70.
Well, they got there's Michael Pratt out of Tulane. that
Yeah, I
people
saw
talk
that.
about?
What about the kid out of Notre Dame? What the hell's his name?
Oh, Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about the kid out of Notre Dame? You think they could get him deep down in the? I mean, at the back of
I
the.
don't
draft?
like him. I don't like
You don't
him.
like him?
No.
The only reason why I say it because they ran almost a pro style offense because it's not much work.
Yeah.
You know,
Arm
form.
strength a little bit.
Yeah.
I see on the feeder here. I see someone, Sonny D, talking about Joe Milton. Big. That's a big raw project right there.
Right. And that's the problem. Do we want a raw project or we
Right.
want someone who can actually be to push Daniel Jones? You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
with
we don't
you.
want
man.
a project. We want someone that might be able to push Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I'm with you on Spencer Rattler. He's the only guy left that I would take, and the only reason he's dropped is solely because of that TV, that whatever Netflix show he did, QB1 or whatever, the maturity issues. But talent-wise, we did there. I could see him taking him, but I don't think he might not get past Las Vegas.
Right. I think someone's going to pick him up before that.
Yeah.
So you think he's going to second round Vegas? That's your call.
I think he'll go to the second round to Vegas. I don't. First of all, it shocked me that all these quarterbacks went in like the first 12 picks in the draft, and I agree with Mike and you that actually the previous person that was on. I think it's more social media and pressure by the fans and blah blah blah. Why are we saying quarterbacks are horrible? Like Justin Fields, I think he got a raw deal. And granted, you're getting Caleb Williams, but I think he got a raw deal. I think he could have been a very serviceable quarterback and won games for them, but they just gave up on him.
Well, my prediction was they were going to keep him and draft Marvin Harrison with the first pick, and then that went.
That would have been something good, yeah.
But I really believe that. But Poles wanted to get his own guy. That's but
yeah,
I get it.
Yep, it makes sense. I would say the only thing I would say is when you look at these guys is that I don't think a lot of the hype was media driven. That's just my own personal opinion because I don't follow that media hype. I did like any one of these guys. I thought any one of these guys could have done definitely better than what it's an upgrade from what we have now, in my opinion. So I'm not surprised that the only one that surprised me was Penix going 8. But I was not surprised 6 went in the first round. And when you look at the teams where they were, I'm not overly surprised that 6 went in the first 12. Like it's weird, but when you look at they were quarterback needy teams, it makes sense. Nick, I'm gonna put you on the spot here again too. So I think you mentioned kind of Haynes, but so on the spot, who's the pick in the second round? Who's the pick in the third round?
So I got for me personally, because I wrote this down because I don't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
I got Kool-Aid at 47.
Ooh.
Yeah, the kid from Alabama. Now, this is a stretch.
Okay.
You know the tight end from Illinois, Riemann?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yep.
So he's that more old school kind of tight end, which I think that's the kind of tight end we need, that I can block, I can play special teams, I could do anything. So I know he's a stretch at 70 at 70, but if Fisk is available at 70, I want him.
Okay.
I think everybody will want Fisk if he's at 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a player.
I like the tight end idea. There's a couple other guys, tight ends, that I would go over the other guy, but it's not a big pick. Like I like Johnson and I like Sanat, but I don't know if he'll be there at 70. Is the Texas tight end?
I figured right off the bat he wouldn't be there at 70.
Yeah,
When I was doing my look, I don't
Sanders.
think he'd be there at 70. I think he's going in the like the earlier in the second round.
He probably will, but it'll be interesting because again, so many people are sliding down with all those offensive picks and everything else. It'll be interesting to see.
What was it? The first 23 picks were offense. Oh no,
14.
But there were 23 picks of offense in the first round.
Yeah.
Record set there. So awesome.
So you're right. Maybe he drops because everybody has got to switch around.
How's this? I think I think the early second round is going to be dominated. You're going to see more corners. You're going to see there's still wide receivers there that have first round grades, and you're going to see some defensive linemen who are pretty darn good, who are on the board right now.
There's a couple of interior linemen.
Yeah, Cooper Beebe's there. He'll be there.
If Beebe's there at 70, I don't think he is. But if he's there at 70, you got to grab him.
Yeah.
What about? I'm going to ask you guys. So I'm thinking later rounds, like running back at what is it? The 166 pick. You think we could get like a running back, like a bruising running back, not like this fancy slashing kind of running back?
I think
will probably be there.
Yeah, I think Estime will be there later on. I think
that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Estime to be there.
I think he'll be there later on.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys, because I first of all, I like him because I watch a lot of Notre Dame football. And if he's there, I was like, yeah, waste a late round pick on him. He's just be that.
So that kid Brandon Allen. Allen will be there too, out of Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I think there'll be a few running backs there that are pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be good. But well, Nick, man, again, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Stick around in the comments because, like I said, we're gonna have a giveaway going on for a Justin Pugh straight out of the couch.
Straight off the couch shirt.
Straight off the couch shirt going on. So we'll test your New York Giants trivia, man. But thanks again, Nick. We appreciate you.
Take it easy. Thank you so much, guys.
Take care, Nick. He had some interesting take.
He did. It was good. Man, listen, we can't ask for a better start to this show, Truth, right? Like the topics we're covering, the knowledge these guys. Before we bring on our next guy here, just real quick, I want to ask you this question because I thought this was an interesting one that Timothy asked in the groups, but I'm going to let you answer this one.
See it.
Do you see it? He wants to know, Neighbors, Jerry Rice or next Randy Moss or the next Tyreek Hill? Go ahead.
Yes, any one of them. Yes. Any one of them.
Good answer. Good answer. All right.
Oh, my gosh.
Great question, Timothy. All right, I'm going to bring our next guy in, Scott. I'm not sure if he's on video or not, but I'm going to bring him on. All right. Hey, Scott, how you doing, man?
How are you guys doing? Can you see me?
No, we can't see you, man. All we see is a black screen.
Scott, this happened last time.
I know it did. I don't know why I'm having issues with this.
I think you're really somebody else. You're messing with us.
And I got the link and everything, but sorry about that.
He's our first insider. He's a giant insider, giant scout. He's our source. He wants to keep it. He wants to keep it hidden. I get it.
Oh, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, thanks for being on, man. Where are you joining us from, Scott?
I'm joining you from South Plainfield, New Jersey.
Nice, awesome. Well, what'd you think of the pick last night? You happy? You wanted somebody else? What's your thoughts, man?
You know, a couple weeks ago, I was on here with Truth and Mike, and I talked about the Giants trading down with Minnesota and getting Dallas Turner and whatnot.
Yep.
Going a little defense. But I'm thrilled with the pick. I really am. I'm Neighbors has me excited. We talked about the talent that's on this team, and I'm real excited that they added Neighbors. I think everything fell right for the Giants. I'm not one of these Daniel Jones haters. I think he's got some ability. We can't give up on him yet. And so I really like Neighbors. What's interesting when you read, I like to read, I don't know if you guys have heard of Ourled's Draft Guide.
Yeah.
It's a pro football book magazine that they do all these prospects. And everything that you read about with Neighbors, they said he wins with his body and mind. And in his scouting report, I've never heard that before. I've never seen that written about a player. He wins with his body and mind in the scouting report on Malik Neighbors. So that's impressive. And Joe Shane came on and he said he talked about his competitiveness and his toughness. So I'm okay with it. I really am. I really like the pick.
Awesome. Who do you any surprises for you last night in the draft in the first round?
Well, I talked to this with the Truth. I mean, I liked Michael Penix. He was my favorite quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought that he would be a great pick at 47, but obviously the Falcons took him. So that was a shock. That was just a shock because what we always talk about, everybody's enamored with the money these quarterbacks make. But when you think about it, they signed Cousins in March. So if you sign Cousins in March and you're guaranteeing Kirk Cousins $100 million in his 4-year contract, why are you taking Penix in the first round in the top 10 where the money's going to be, he's going to get a guaranteed contract about $38 million spread out over 4 years. And then you'll have the option of guaranteeing the 5th year or denying it like the Giants did with Jones.
Right.
But I just think it's very, I just think it's short-sighted by the Falcons. I mean, you had Dallas Turner staring you right in the face. You could have took him. So I was very surprised. I really was.
Yeah, you would think a defensive player would be a fit right there when they were picking an 8. Yep,
absolutely. And look at Minnesota. They traded to get McCarthy with the Jets, and then they traded back up in the first round to get Dallas Turner. So they were moving a little bit last night. And look, those are good moves for the Vikings because they don't have a second, third round pick in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those were good moves for Minnesota.
Yeah, they fill good needs for sure.
Right.
Who's your all-time favorite Giant? Who's your current favorite Giant if you have one?
My all-time favorite Giant is Phil Simms.
Okay.
I'm a guy from the 70s. I knew the Giants when they were just rock bottom bad. And I appreciated George Young. He drafted Phil as the first pick in 1979. I was in high school. And we hung our shingle on Phil Simms. And you know what? Phil eventually came through and we love him for it. So I'm a Phil Simms guy. Currently, the current Giant I like the most, I'd have to say Dexter Lawrence.
Another one.
Dexter Lawrence. I love Dexter Lawrence. I think he, 16th overall pick. He wasn't as touted as Cleveland Farrell and Christian Wilkins coming in the draft. They were in the same draft. He was like the third guy out of that Clemson, out of that team. And I think he's had the best career so far.
They had Lawson too, right? Didn't they have Lawson too? Shaq Lawson?
You know what? I think they did. I think he went a year or two before those guys. But yes, they sure did. Yep, they sure did.
Well, let me ask you, Scott, since you brought up like you were in high school when Simms got drafted. So all this talk about alternative uniforms coming up and all that. What do you think about the disco uniforms coming back?
The disco uniforms from the set, it's so bad. It's such bad memories. I can't take it. The disco uniforms, the thick blue stripe on the side of the pants. The helmets were gaudy with the thick red stripe. Don't do it. They were some of the worst years of our lives. Here is the real kick in the shins, I'll say, in the 70s. We acquired Craig Morton from Dallas. Okay.
Oh God, please.
We give up the number 1 pick that turned out to be Randy White, who's a Hall of Famer for the Cowboys defensive tackle. Well, everybody says Morton sucks. He's with us 2 years, and he was bad, but the team was bad. He goes to Denver the very next year, and he takes the Broncos to the Super Bowl against Dallas. I mean, it really was – that's how the 70s were. It was just – it was so bad. It was amazing, amazingly how bad the 70s
and he had
were.
Zonka at the end of his career, right? Like, so they were notorious in the 70s for getting those like Morton and Zonka. And it was crazy.
They were inept. George Young changed everything.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you bring this up, Scott, and it seems like it's a family trait, right? Wellington needed help towards the end, right? At some point, the league stepped in and got George Young. It seems like John Mara has gotten to that point too. Would you agree? Like, are you seeing a little bit of history repeating itself here?
Absolutely. For some reason, and John lived through this. I don't know why. I just think that Pat Shurmur, the Joe Judge, just horrible coaching hires, and their staffs were bad. And all you need to know is, we've talked, and you guys know this. We talked about Eric Flowers and Justin Pugh and Will Hernandez. We've drafted linemen, and the linemen. from who went to the Niners. His name escapes me. The center.
Feliciano
Feliciano Richburg.
and
Richburg,
yeah.
right? Richburg from Colorado State, right? Thank you, Joker. These people went over to other teams, and with proper coaching and positioning, they had careers, but they stunk here. So that's a coaching failure in my eyes. So we haven't had good coaching. So yeah, John Mara, that set us back. But realistically, with Gettleman was just a disaster. But there are about 10 players on this roster currently that are Gettleman's guys that are still here. So I mean, but he was a disaster because he didn't manage to cap properly, and his coaches, the coaching staffs were awful. And I said this with Truth Joker last time I was on. The Giants went 6-11 last year. There were 3 games: Buffalo, the Jets, and the Ram games. This team was 9-8. Dable is a young coach. I don't want to get on him too much, but he failed. He bombed out. Now I think he learned from it, and I think he's going to be better for it. And we're growing with him. But I think all things being equal, I'm glad. I think he's got a lot to work with. They're signing people, but yes, I think Mara's made some awful mistakes. Awful.
Yeah. Well, here's a take, Scott, for you to kind of think about that I've said a few times, on Twitter, is when you really look at last season, the fact that they even won 6 games with Dable having to deal with Wink for an entire season and his crap he went with, the injuries that they all had, like, to me, that's a really good coaching job. So that showed me more about Dable than other things, right? So how he handled it, like he never went in the media, like nobody knew that was going on with Wink. And even at the end, when it was all said and done, he didn't go to the media like Wink did. So I think there's a lot to be encouraged about with him. So I hear you, but just something that I, kind of thoughts I've had that, wanted to kind of throw your way there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value to that. I mean, this is the New York Giants, right? I mean, this is 24/7, 365, and I think Dable, he worked under Saban, he worked with Belichick, and he's coached a long time. It's not like he's got 5 to 10 years. He's coached like 25 years. So I think he managed it on top of everything else. I think he's got a good staff, and I think he's got Shane. Shane hired him, so I think Shane's with him because it takes both of them. You got to work in tandem there. So, and what he did with DeVito was incredible. Like, I can still see DeVito in Washington throwing that touchdown pass to Barkley, and I'm like, you know what? Because DeVito went to Syracuse, and then he went to Indiana for a year, or Illinois, excuse me. And what he did with DeVito, because DeVito's a backup. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. But I thought, to finish the season like what you said, with what he had, I'm impressed with that. I'm interested with the dynamic with Kafka this year because he gave him a raise, gave him a new title. Is he going to be more involved with the offense? But he's got a number one guy. The Slayton holding out of the voluntary workouts doesn't bother me at all. Hyatt, you got to get going. Wan'Dale Robinson. And look, here's something that's interesting that we're going to have to really look at. They changed the rules with the kickoff and the special teams. Yep. So you're going to have returns now every game. The line, the front lines are going to be 5 yards apart. Both teams get to move upon the catching of the ball. So we've signed Isaiah McKenzie. We still got the guy Josh Shan. I think his last name is Durbin. So we've got some guys there and he hired a new special teams coach with 2 assistants. So we got 3 special teams coaches. So I think Dable's out in front of that. And I'm interested to see how the special teams works out with that. I really am.
It'll be interesting. Well, Scott, listen, man, we appreciate you being on. We appreciate your support. And just real quick, 30 seconds, give me the 2 positions you think the Giants draft tonight.
Guys, I think we should go defense. I think we should go cornerback. And I think we should go defensive tackle. We got Jordan Riley on the roster. We got DJ Davidson. Ashawn Robinson, who's not here anymore, he had a real good year for us. He was excellent last year. And we got Nunez Roches. But I think you got to add to that line. And I think if we go defense, I'd be very happy.
Awesome.
So-
Well, Scott, thanks again, man. We appreciate you being on, and we appreciate the support.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Thanks so much.
All
Go
right,
Giants.
all right.
Hey,
Before we bring our next guy on, I gotta give a shout out to Tuto, my
Yes.
paisan. Let me paisano Tuto. Thank you so much,
¿Cómo
man.
está,
Donation.
Tudo? ¿Cómo está?
We appreciate you, my man. Thanks again for that donation all the way from the UK, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All
You're
right.
a good man, Tudo.
Yep. So all right, we got Doc coming on again. I mean, truth, we're killing it tonight with the guests, like the knowledge and the history they're bringing in.
I know.
Man,
It's nice to see I'm not the only old guy. You know, I hear these guys talking.
I know. He said he was a teenager in the 70s. Like, well, no wonder why he was on Talking the Truth a lot. Like,
Hey, I was in college when Sim was drafted.
oh my goodness, yeah, you guys. Thank you for making me feel young for a minute. There. I appreciate that. All right, we got Doc coming on. So I already saw him laughing, so that's good. So let me bring him on here. All right, Doc, how we doing, man? Lucas, Doc, what you want to go by tonight?
Oh, call me whatever you want. I don't care.
My dad used to say, "Call me anything you want, but late for dinner."
That's right. That's right. How's it going, guys?
Good, good.
Good.
How
How
you
you doing?
Good, good. I'm excited, man. We got freaking neighbors.
Awesome.
So you're happy with the draft selection?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Is he the guy
Yeah.
you wanted all along, or are you just happy we got him?
No, I was torn on him and Adunze, but I didn't know
Okay.
which one fit the personality better that Dable was looking for. I thought it was going to come down to personality with those two, especially after everything that happened with what's his face that went to Kansas City that no one likes to talk about.
Yeah, Tony.
Tony, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at Tony, he was one of those guys outside of the injury bug. He was a phenomenal talent, but he just wasn't the right fit, and I was worried that it was going to come down to fit between those two. And Adunze just looks like such a great kid. I thought that might be the deal
That's
maker
who
for
I had
him.
on
But
my board. I had Adonze. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm happy to see neighbors because I mean, by all accounts, he's potentially the first wide receiver on the board as far as talent. If you look looking at certain aspects of his game,
Yeah.
Did you want wide receiver at 6, or did you want quarterback, or were you just like, hey, whoever they take, if it's somebody good, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah, I was happy with just you need all-star talent at 6. Not necessarily like fixated on exactly which position. I was concerned, like a lot of people are, that they were going to overreach for a quarterback.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think Drake May would have been great. Daniels, fine. Neither of those guys were going to fall to 6.
Yep.
So I wasn't banking on seeing either of those two names called last night, but I think either of those two would have been worth the pick or moving up. But I thought the cliff was just too big for JJ.
Yep. Okay. Nice. By the way, where are you joining us from?
I'm down in Virginia near Williamsburg.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you moved there? You're from there originally? From New York originally?
Yeah, I grew up in New York, but you guys, this is odd. Probably don't know anyone else that grew up on Governor's Island, but that's where I grew up, right off the southern tip of Manhattan. Yep.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Awesome.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite Giant of all time? Favorite current Giant?
Yeah, I'm gonna sound like a total nut job saying this, but my favorite Giant of all time is LT. So,
No, that's a reach.
Yeah.
That's a reach.
yeah.
If you watch the show, you've seen how many Taylor stuff I got in my room here. So yeah, no, great choice.
I mean, if you disqualified Taylor from the answer, which would have been also fair.
yeah,
I don't know. It's hard not to root for a guy like Eli Manning, who brought us so much greatness and has been such a great representative of the organization. So I really like everything that Eli brought to the table when it comes down to just being a dog and being the best that ever played in their position. How can you not say LT,
Yeah, exactly. How about current? You got a favorite current one now?
I'm a big Dexter Lawrence fan, guys.
Oh,
That's
boy,
great.
Dexter's getting a lot of love.
Yeah. Truth,
Yeah.
remember the ones that Craig asked who's going to be the face of the franchise? And I said Dexter Lawrence. Well,
Yeah.
these guys are proving me right tonight so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got it all, man. He's not only is he a dominant player at his position, being one of the top 2 in the league every year, what he's doing, but he's just the right guy, man. He's got the right personality. He seems like he's always laughing and having a good time. He's great leadership. Everyone respects him. I mean, it's hard to poke a hole in Dexter Lawrence.
Yep, no drama with his life, and
That's right.
He's like the ideal player that you want.
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
love him. And it's funny because if you'd asked me 7-8 years ago if my favorite player on the team would be nose tackle or whatever we want to call him these days, I mean, probably not would have been the top guess. You'd probably be thinking about something a little bit more visible, but he's just a machine.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, I know Wink left a bad taste in Giants fans' mouth, but the best thing that Wink ever did was moving Dexter to the position he did. He unlocked him where he needed to be. It was the perfect choice. So again, we can be. I don't like Wink anymore either, but let's give him credit for that at least, right?
yeah. Wink was hard not to cheer for until he got sideways. It's like one of those things where you're part of the family until you're not. And I think when he was in the pocket, he was doing great things. Although I was a little concerned about, like, I think Thibodeau is going to break out. Now that he's going to be a little bit more free, having him drop back in coverage, I was like, what the hell is that?
Oh boy. Well, we talked about that so many times.
And as much as he did, listen, LT dropped back in coverage, but not to the extent that Thibodeau did. Like, it was crazy. So I do, with him and Burns and what Bowen's doing, they'll unleash. I agree with you there. Who do you what positions do you think they're going tonight? 2 and 3.
I mean, again, it's going to sound like repetitive, but I think you got to look at corner. I mean, not only do we need it and need it bad, but it's just, next position of highest value is probably corner. And I don't know that we're going to get someone like Kool-Aid by the time it comes down to us. I mean, if there's a run on CBs, we're going to be, we might be in a position where we have to look at a different part of the field.
Yeah, we talked about Shawnee and I talked about that. A safety hasn't been taken yet, so could that be the pick? If there's so many corners get off the board before we pick at 47, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you got a guy you think you could move,
Yeah, I think if a corner's not there, although they got a number of corners they've looked at, right? Phillips, Max Melton, you got guys there, but to me, I don't think they go safety that high because the guys they have now, I think, can do it, right? Like I think we all agree. You look safety later on. The question does,
I do. I very agree.
If the cornerback's not there, then you look at a guy like Cooper Beebe, or I know Christian Haynes been mentioned, but the guy I really like that's not talked about enough is the BC guard, Christian Mahogany. Like, that guy did not give up a sack. Like, that's a guy, and the last
you can get him on day. You think he'll be there at 70? I think he'll be there.
He may be there later on. I don't know. I don't know why he's not talked about higher than he is, but that's kind of my take. If you had, I know you kind of mentioned Kool-Aid, but before we kind of let you go here, who is there 2 guys you want in the 2nd and 3rd round?
Not really. I mean, I wish I could give you, specific names, but I haven't been following the talent strong enough to be able to delineate past like top 2 or 3 in each of the positions. But I just feel like, as far as the team's needs go, I think it goes CB, O-line. And I mean, can we get a guy like Brandon Jacobs in the draft at some point eventually? I would just love a huge power running back in the
I don't think they make him that big anymore. I mean,
no, but that estimate would be the closest, right, of anybody in this draft.
Yeah, he's not even close to that weight.
Yeah. I mean, 3rd round. I mean, I'm also looking tight end maybe too, right? Yeah. Like, can we get somebody to pair with Bellinger that is, because we don't know what Waller's going to do, right? So a Theo Johnson or Sanad or what do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It was hard for me to determine whether I would prioritize tight end or O lineman because, I mean, you need the depth on O line, but when you look at the tight end position, I'm not banking on Waller, and if I were them making decisions, I wouldn't be banking on him either. It'd be like if he shows up, bonus maybe, but like. Yeah. I wouldn't make plans around him being here. I'd make plans around him not being here, and I would default to a tight end in the 3rd, pick something like a cornerback or an offensive lineman in the 2nd if I could.
Yeah, I think the main thing is this team's got to continue to get better, and that's what I felt last night. Like there's not enough elite talent on this team. They added an elite player. Now you got to keep upgrading. Like they upgraded in the offseason. You just got to get better wherever it is. And I do think cornerback is a big need in the second round if there's somebody there. So I do like that. Stick around in the comments if you can, because I'm probably around 8:00 or so. I'll do the trivia question. That's about halfway through the show, so I think that's a good time. So we'll test your knowledge, maybe get a chance to get that straight off the couch shirt. But thanks again for being on. Thanks for your supporting this show, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy, man. Go Giants.
Go Giants.
Bye.
So, Truth, we're going to have to carry the show here for a little bit because we don't have anybody in the waiting room right now. Whoever our next person was supposed to be is not in here.
Okay.
So we're gonna get put to the test right now and see if we can carry this. What do you think? How you feel?
All right, that's fine. You brought up a few names that I liked that who could be there for this day two round. We have 2 picks. And we're all assuming that Shane won't do anything, go back, trade back, which I don't think he will. I think a secondary and a line, an interior lineman or in the trenches kind of player. I think that's what we're going to look at in these 2 picks. I think that's what we're going to see. Something like that.
Yeah, it's tough for me because I don't know. I mean, there's some really good D linemen there. I just don't know. This team just in certain areas, like I'm going to run something by you. Do you think the Giants could double dip at wide receiver in this draft?
All right. So you're thinking of getting a wide receiver at 47?
No, I would say third round if there's depending who drops, and again depending how the board plays. But just in general, do you think the Giants should double dip and take 2 receivers?
Should they or could they?
Let's go both. Could they or should they? Either.
I think they could.
Okay.
I don't know if they should. I don't know if they should. So I'll keep it simple like that. I think. I mean, you keep naming needs. We have safety. We still have to improve the offensive line. It's not there yet.
No.
Defensive line. We lost Leonard. What's his name? Leonard Taylor, right? Yeah. And we still gave up 130 something yards a game. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, gotta get a corner.
Do you think that's personnel, or do you think that was Wink's system of not being able to stop the run?
That's a good point. I mean, that's not true. The last 2 years with Wink, they were pretty bad, like 148 and 130 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a good point. Was it the system or the players? Okay.
I mean, I don't know the answer. It's a question to ask, right? It could be.
No, but it's a good point. It's a good point to make us think about that. Yeah. You mentioned a tight end. What if what's his name doesn't come back? And there's a good chance he won't. I know they got a couple of guys. Oh, look what we got here.
I just saw that. I'm gonna put that up.
Wow.
The Milan Football Club fan club in San Diego, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. My gosh.
Man, shout out. Tip of the cap. That is huge right there, man. We appreciate you. I'm glad you were able to get on yesterday, man. That's awesome. So thank you for that, man. We really, really appreciate that. So let's go Milan Fan Club San Diego.
Yeah, definitely. So let me ask you something. You mentioned third round. Do you have somebody in mind you're thinking about possibly that if they do double dip?
So here's the thing. If I don't have somebody in mind in the third round for wide receiver, I do think we need another offensive pass catcher. So I would look tight end in the third round. I would look at I don't know if they'll go that low. Like Theo Johnson, like he really stood out at the combine to me, right? They had him in on the local day. He's a guy. Can you get him later? Maybe. But I mean, if he's there, do you take him, right? Like, do you take a Ben Sinnott? Is he a fourth round guy, or is he a third round? Like, I want another weapon, and I don't know if you go running back in the third round. I think
I don't think so. I
fourth or
don't.
fifth round maybe for running back because Singletary is going to carry the load, but he needs a complement. So you can get a guy later on. But I think you do take, it'll be interesting to see where some of the, there's been some receivers that we thought were going to get off that haven't got off. So we'll see where they go.
Yeah.
Do you look at a double dip later on, like a Luke McCaffrey later on, right? Like beyond that, part of me feels like we need as many pass catchers as possible, but that could just be me looking at it and be going,
Well,
you know what I mean?
no, that's a good point. And what about you talk about running back? What about a dual talented running back who's good out of the backfield? I had on my mock draft, I had Isaac Correndo out of Louisville. Here's a kid who runs hard and he can catch the ball in the backfield, and he's probably going to be a late day 3 pick. And there's a kid who'd be a perfect by committee running back with the Giants. They chose to wait a little long to go get a running back. I do want to see a running back who can catch the ball in the backfield. That's for sure. I do want to see that.
So if that's what you're thinking, then I would look at Jalen Wright out of Tennessee because he's an Alvin Kamara type back, right? So
what round you got him going?
He's probably a 4th round guy as well. He's all those guys. He might be 5th round. But you look at like this, from what I've seen, Braylon Allen will be there in the 5th round or 4th round. Trey Benson could be there in the 4th round. He may be a 3rd round guy.
Yeah.
So there's Benson I like too, but there's just something about it depends on what you want. Like, do you want that guy like complimentary back, or do you want like where we had Bradshaw and Jacobs? So now you're gonna have Singletary and Estime. Like you're gonna have the bruiser, the pounder, and then the fast guy, or do you have do you have Singletary, who he doesn't have the game-breaking speed, right? Jalen Wright was. So is he a nice compliment that when the defense gets tired, you put Jalen Wright in there, he's taking it to the house. So that's kind of my thinking. But he's a guy, and listen, as somebody who doesn't like the University of Tennessee, the fact I'm even mentioning Jalen Wright,
He's a good player.
There, right?
He's a good player, and that's for sure, no doubt about it. He's a good player. So yeah, I think that would probably be the good spot for the Giants, somewhere in the middle, day 3. If they choose to go get a running back, I think that would be a good spot. And there's talent there. There's Marshall Lloyd is going to be there.
Yep.
There's going to be guys there. Ray Davis, kid out of Kentucky, a little older, but he has such great. Did you hear about his background?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
He was like an orphan or something, a foster kid. He had a lot of problems in his family circle and dynamics, drugs, and he could have went the wrong direction, this kid, but he went the right way, tried to do the right things growing up. And I someone can help me on this. I think he was a walk-on at the school, and look what he's become. He's
I think you're right. I think he was a walk-on.
Yeah, and then here he is being talked about as a possible draft pick, on day 3. So that's pretty remarkable. It shows the character this kid has, So yeah, it's going to be curious. It's going to be curious. We keep, we talk about cornerback, safety, defensive line, trenches, offensive lineman, tight end, running back. That's already 6. They already made a pick. They only have 5 picks left. The Giants, they can't pick somebody. One position is not going to get picked, right?
Yeah. So here's a couple interesting names for you, Truth. When we go back to the double dipping thing, and both these guys are projected in the 3rd and 4th round. So you got Tez Walker out of North Carolina.
North Carolina, yep.
And you got Brendan Rice, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they had him in for a top 30, right? So because ahead of time that they're a top 30 guy. So do you have them in because in case you don't get receiver at 6, you got somebody later on, or do you have them in because you're thinking maybe we need 2 wide receivers? And so those are 2 names, that I think you could look at there.
Those are 2 good names that can stretch the field. Those are 2 good football players.
Now listen, you're the obscure guy here. So here's a name which he may project to a tight end, but when you think of a guy, a red zone
Tony
target,
Wilson.
yeah, you knew, right? There you go, Truth. That's why you're the truth right there. You knew where I was going, man. So what do you think? You think
I think there could be a possibility that he could transition to a kind of Darren Waller, that kind of tight end. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
so here's the other thing when you look at that, because I saw the same thing with Darren Waller. Now, let me ask you, and you know, and anybody in the comments chime in on this too, but do you think Darren Waller, they got him for Kafka because it came from KC? And do you think Daboll is now going to call plays, one, and two, may not view the tight end the same way Kafka did if he was calling plays?
Yep. That's all possibilities. Yeah, good points. I didn't even think about how they would view the tight end if Dable took over the calling.
I mean, he had the tight ends, but they weren't the focal point in that offense. They were complements, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, anybody in the comments, give me your thoughts on, you know, what to think with the tight end. If you think Daboll's gonna call plays now, and because I felt like when they got Waller, my immediate thought was, man, Kafka sees him as Travis Kelce, right? Like he's gonna be the number one target. Now they draft Neighbors, he's the number one target, right? He's the guy right. He's going to be the focal point of that offense. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. I'm looking at this comment by Dwayne. It's kind of funny. You popped that last one up.
The well one?
Yeah.
All right.
He says, "Oh well, they probably wouldn't keep me on. Nobody wants to hear my take on a pick anyway." Why? What's up, Dwayne? What's going on?
Yeah, he said it earlier. So here, I'm going to put it up, his earlier comment. So Dwayne, here you go, man. I know you weren't able to get on. There was a whole thing how that worked, but we're going to put you up with your comment here on the pick. So this is what Dwayne thinks about the pick.
Oh, okay. I didn't see this. I can listen. I can understand a lot of the Giant fans how they feel about Daniel Jones. Look, we have pro Daniel Jones, we have con on Daniel Jones. I get it, and that's the beauty of football, or any sport. You have your favorites, you have your players you don't like. I get it, but I would have been fine if the Giants drafted a quarterback. I really would have been if it wasn't a reach, and I felt that it would have been a reach for what was left on the board. I really did. And I like Penix. And I like J.J. McCarty. I really do. I like them. I don't like them as much as I like Neighbors or Dunze. I don't like them as much as I like them. So that's a tough one. I can understand him. I could get it. I get it. Where he's coming from. I just hope that we talked about this, Sean, off the air. I hope Malik Neighbors is off the field, no drama. That's what I worry about.
Yeah,
That's what I worry about.
I think that round two's underway. I got to get my TV set up here again.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay. I don't have that worry about him because, again, I don't think he's Odell Beckham, right? Like, it's easy for Giants fans to say that, well, we got another fast, 6-foot receiver out of LSU, so he's Odell Beckham. I see him more as a Jamar Chase, right? And Jamar Chase, there hasn't been really any issues. And the only one that really kind of was, he just wanted the ball more and wanted to carry the offense, but he wasn't a problem, right? Like, you want your stars of the offense to say, I want the ball, I can help this. And it wasn't problematic the way you're saying it. So to me, I see Neighbors more as, Jamar Chase than I do Odell Beckham Jr. But again, like, I get why Giants fans do it. The one thing I'm going to put out there in the Giants universe is, guys, let's let him be Malik Neighbors. Let's not say we got our next Odell. Let's not say he's Odell. Like, let's just let him be Malik Neighbors, man. Like, Odell's gone. The time here was great. He did phenomenal things, but let's let Malik be Malik. You know what I mean? Let's just let that kid play, do what he can do, and just be like, oh man, finally we got an Odell again, right? That's my hot take for tonight, Truth.
And you're sticking with it.
I am. All right. Here's another comment here that listen, I love great discussion. I love
Yeah,
great
guys,
critical
yeah.
thinking.
chime in. We love it.
So I gotta be nice because he just gave us money, right? However, I disagree that they're building it around Daniel Jones. Yes, he is the quarterback, but when you look at Daboll's reaction, Shane's reaction, and what they said about Malik Neighbors, he's gonna be the guy. He's the number one target. That's what I mean, right? So they got a number one guy, and this pick, if you look at the forest through the trees, this pick is not about the quarterback. This pick the quarterback just mentioned here. To me, this pick is about this kid's going to be 21 when we start the season. You're going to have him probably for a good 10 years doing this. So this is not about Daniel Jones. This is about setting up the New York Football Giants to have a star player on that offense. That's my take. I don't know what you think, Truth.
Well, yeah. If you look at the lore averages, and look, I'm a Daniel Jones supporter. I understand he had a horrible year. I understand the injuries and all that. I get it. That's why, and I would have been perfectly fine with them getting a quarterback if it was the one I felt was the right one. But I agree with you. I mean, Malik Neighbors is going to be here longer. Even if he just lives through his rookie contract, he'll be here longer.
Right.
But I agree. I think he'll have a great career. He will go to a second contract with the Giants, and like you said, a good decade of having him as a wide receiver. He'll probably break every receiving record that they've had if he stays healthy and stays with the team. Yeah.
I think he'll go down as the great. If he stays healthy and things go, I think he'll be the greatest Giants wide receiver in history, right? No doubt.
Yeah, he will be.
No doubt. And again, Giants are known for their receivers, but the ones that have had long careers have done really good things. So I'm all for that. Here's another take, and again, because we're waiting for some other people to show up, so we got time to talk now. And one thing you guys learn about me, I am not short of words, so hence the Joker.
And Sean, these guys can also throw in who they want to see at 47 and 70 while we're waiting too. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, put in the comments, man. Like let's throw some things in there. Let's get it going. It's all good. We want to hear feedback.
Even trades. Be bold if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And why I think that what they're going to do in the draft is predicated upon this. I look at it this way. Whoever ends up starting week 1, they're going to have no excuses at this point, right? There's going to be no excuse. The line should be upgraded, right? Not saying it's fixed, but it's going to be upgraded. There's going to be weapons. You're going to have Malik Neighbors now. You're going to have Wan'Dale Robinson. I think Jalen Hyatt's going to take that next step, in year 2. And then if you got time to throw, you're going to get these guys, and these guys can do things. Like what blew my mind last year is like they couldn't even just get Jalen Hyatt the ball on short routes and let him use his speed. Like they just relied on him on the deep route to stretch the field. Like get the ball in his hands and let him run by people. Like that dude is fast. So that's my take. And if Jones is the starter week 1 and he falters, I would not be surprised if Drew Lock comes in and takes over, because
I agree.
Right? Like you can't, if you got an upgraded line, you got these weapons now. Like you gotta do something. That's my take. So that's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, they want Jones to succeed, and they're going to give him a chance. I just hope the kid can play and not get injured. If he fails, he failed because of his talent level, not because he gets banged up and gets beat up. And that's the only thing I worry about with him.
Yeah, I mean, my concern. I'm gonna actually put this up from Cold because Cold's my guy. He's always been good to me since I joined Rush. So I'm gonna give him a little more pub.
He's blunt.
I don't know if Craig gives him enough pub, but I'm gonna give him enough pub. Anyway, so Cold says he ain't breaking no damn records with Mechaneck Jones throwing to him. Cold. I'll say this, and this will upset some people, but if you look at Jones the first 2 years, right? He could throw the deep ball. people now have this idea that Jones can't throw the deep ball. He's not throwing the deep ball because Judge and Garrett took that out of him. They scared it out of him. Don't take chances. Don't throw it deep, whatever it is. So if he does get a little bit of time and if Dayball can coach that out of him, I think he'll throw the deep ball again. Again, I'm not saying he's the answer. I'm not saying he's the guy. I'm just saying people say he don't throw deep, but he did throw deep his first 2 years. He threw a lot of deep balls his first 2 years to guys who weren't great wide receivers.
No.
Those 2 years under Judge and Garrett, and it's not making excuses for him. It just is what it is. Judge and Garrett really set back his development, really coached him to like not throw it deep, not throw interceptions, and he still threw interceptions. So that's the one thing I want to put out there is that narrative that Jones doesn't throw deep. But we also had an O-line the last 2 years that you couldn't throw deep because it takes time to throw the deep ball, right? Like if you don't have enough time for those deep routes, like you can't just throw them. And if guys get open, they're getting open like after the fact of when the sack already happened, right? Like
when he's running for his life, yeah,
whatever it is. So there's just more to it. So again, that's my kind of soapbox moment there with that.
Yeah, just listen, he's a Giant. Just support him, guys. I get it that he's not your favorite quarterback, but the sum of the parts, right? Giants. You want the Giants to win, don't you? I mean, I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Buffalo's on the clock right now, just to let you know. Buffalo's on the
clock. All right. So they didn't trade back. Buffalo did not make a trade. All right. Go Buffalo. Go Buffalo.
I'll tell you, Washington now. Washington has 2 picks in the first 7 picks of the second round. They have 2 picks, Washington. I'd like to see, what they're going to do with those picks.
Yeah. It's got to be wide receiver here, right, for Buffalo?
I would think because Diggs, right? They traded Diggs. You got Mitchell still on the board from Texas. You got Coleman still on the board from Florida State. You got a lot of guys still on the board.
Yeah, you got Troy Franklin up there.
Franklin. Yep.
McConkey. I mean, you got guys.
McConkey. Yep.
Yeah. So I can't see them not going wide receiver here. I mean, which again, you traded back, you got out of the first round, like you got some extra picks, so they're going to look to build. And also keep this in mind too. I think part of the reason they traded to get more picks later on, they let both their safeties go. So
that's right.
Safeties are going to drop later on. You're going to replace those guys later on. So to me, that might be their thinking right there.
Yep. I'll tell you. I mean, I think Mitchell out of Texas might be a nice fit here, replacing Diggs.
He might be. I know there was some concern about his not always staying on top of his diabetes. And that can be a concern. So I'm wondering if that's why he dropped or if he'll drop any further because of that. There was
how bad is his diabetes? Was he a diabetic 1?
I don't know if he's 1 or 2, but I know that it is a concern that he wasn't always in control of it. He got a little grumpy. You see the fatigue and stuff. And listen, you're in the NFL, you don't want to mess around with that stuff, right? You want guys who are on top of it and especially Buffalo, you think about it, like they don't need something else happening, on their team, right? They had the freak thing with DeMar Hamlin. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, I like Mitchell. I like them a lot. Watched a lot of Texas. So
pick is in.
We'll see what they do here.
I'll tell you, there's a kid, real quick about the Giants, about I think it was Nick talked about Brandon Fisk out of Florida State.
Yep.
I like him too, but there's another kid from Oregon, that guy Doris. Brandon Doris. Am I saying his name right?
I don't know if you're saying it right, but I know who you're talking about. There's so many names to keep track of all of them.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. There's a guy who probably dates round 3. That might be an option if it all depends if it fits what the Giants are looking for with the need and the best player, all that stuff,
Yeah. I'm wondering if they look edge late round 2, a guy like Kamara out of Colorado State or the guy out of Troy, right? Like get a 4th guy that can rush. the unknown to me is what they
Oh.
do with Darian Beavers. Also, truth, right?
Yeah. He's still in the works, right? They haven't given up on him.
I don't think so. Just with the injury in that, and again, you don't know if the new coach thinks more of him than Wink did. So he's a guy that I was kind of wondering about. So
Yeah, I liked him. When he played at Cincinnati. I liked him when they drafted him. You know, the guy has a good size. I thought there was something there. You know.
Cole had a question here too. I'm going to give him one more. Cole, what about the cornerback position for who? The Giants or Buffalo? Are you talking about?
Yeah, probably the Giants. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us agree on here that cornerback in round 2 makes sense if the guys are there, right? If the value meets there, if you got a good guy.
Yeah, I'm curious who the Giants would want there. Do you want a guy with some size, at least as big as Banks? All right, here comes the pick.
All right, let's see who we got.
So it sounds like you're in the same time zone as me. Like,
Yeah, with what
you're
we're
streaming.
streaming. Yeah.
Guys, you think it's going to be wide receiver? What's it going to be?
I'm book it, wide receiver. But I wouldn't be shocked if they do something else because they traded out of the first round. So.
Hey, Keenan Coleman.
All right, there we go. So you're ahead of me with mine. Mine hasn't come on yet. So Keon Coleman, there we go.
Big guy. Make good. Either him or Mitchell. That's a good pick.
Yep.
That's a good pick.
Contested catch guy, good special team, guy too. So
Red zone.
I see that's the guy they wanted, so they didn't want to take him in the first round, right? Which, again, you get that, like we talked about, you get those extra picks now that maybe you get your safeties later on or a safety later on.
See, Shawnee, now this is something that you think about. So I'm the GM of Buffalo. You're the GM of Carolina.
Yeah.
You call me and you say, hey, we want to trade up. And they need a wide receiver. And you want a wide receiver. So you think they're upfront with each other and say, hey, listen, who do you want? Oh, I want to get Coleman. Okay, we don't want Coleman. We want Leggett. Okay, we'll make the deal. You think something like that? I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, maybe if they trust each other enough, but I don't think most GMs are going to say who the guy they want. They'll say that. I think for me, it's Buffalo and Carolina had two different thoughts, right? Like Carolina was like, we want that guy to have a 5th-year option with. Buffalo is like, we want extra picks because we got some holes to fill because we let go of a lot of people. So, but yeah, unless they're like, they really know each other well, I don't think they're saying.
Yeah, because that's a gamble. Can you imagine if you're Buffalo and you traded back one and they took Coleman?
Yeah.
And you really wanted him, so then you got to settle?
Well,
or maybe.
Go ahead.
No, I just said, or maybe Buffalo felt that Coleman and Leggett were even, so it didn't matter to them to trade back.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, think about this too. Buffalo traded with Kansas City. Kansas City took Xavier Worthy. If you're Buffalo, you've been facing KC in the playoffs for how many years? And now you let them get a guy that could potentially run all over you or like catch the ball over you. Like,
yeah.
Why would you trade with your, playoff rival at this point? That's just crazy to me as well. I think that's why I'm not a GM. One of the reasons.
Jim Harbaugh just traded back.
We did.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Trade. Oh, they traded up. I'm sorry.
They traded up. Okay.
Yep. With New England.
Now I'm guessing receiver is the pick for Chargers as well.
I would think so. Maybe this is Mitchell. Or Franklin. Or Franklin, like you said.
Yeah, or Franklin. Be interesting what he does there. I think you might see a run on wide receivers here.
Yeah, we talked about that. And remember we talked about that the first part of the day 2?
Yep.
Well, they're giving high fives, guys. They must like the pick. That's one thing I wish I can do. I wish I could be in a war room and draft this and
I know.
do that.
I know. They should do like a a giveaway or something like, contest or something to make that happen.
Oh yeah.
But you couldn't trust any fan in there because they'd be texting, "Hey, they want these guys." Yeah, that's guys can't. They get too excited. They're not gonna keep that in house.
guys on the on the show with us right now. Who do you want to see them take at 47, or do you want them to trade back? Because he's done that, Joe Shane. Remember a few years back, he traded back a couple of times in day 2.
Yeah, had Shane traded back? I thought he only traded up.
No, he traded. I remember the year they got Wandale Robinson. They traded back in the second round a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
Because we all thought he was going to get a cornerback. I remember we were on the air, and then when they finally settled on Wandale, we were lucky enough to have Craig on the show with us, who went crazy that he got picked.
There we go. It took us an hour and a half, almost an hour and a half. We finally were able to bring up Craig's reaction to Wandale. There we go.
Well, Ladd McConkey got picked by the Chargers.
There you go. All right. 2 for 2 here so far. Not with the guys, but the position. 2 for 2.
Yep.
And they were going wide receiver, Chargers, and
there's still talented wide receivers still on the board. That's just freaky. But that's good. If Giant fans want a cornerback right now, it's looking good because all these wide receivers are coming off the board.
Yep. So you got Arizona and Washington, which Washington's not going to go receiver. I don't think they're. New England could go receiver. Clearly they should with drafting Drake May. Titans, they could go receiver. Carolina technically could go 2 receivers back to back. That's how bad the receiving core is.
Yeah.
I like Ladd McConkey though. I was high on him. He was one of the guys I covered on the draft show.
I know you did. You really, you did like him a lot.
I think he's just because, he's got the speed. He's a great route runner and the Senior Bowl, man. Like his height was the only thing that held him back. Again, he ran a 4.39.
I know.
That's really fast, but he's just under 6 feet. So I think that and the injury, he had a couple injuries, I think, put him into the second round, but I think that's going to be a really good pick. I'd be surprised if he doesn't do something with San Diego.
Yeah, and he did a good job, good catch here. I'm looking at his girlfriend.
Yeah. There we go. Show just got shut down. Oh, my man.
Oh, look at this. So the last 5 picks have all been wide receivers.
Yeah. So there's
I
that.
Realize that.
I think so. Who do you think Who do you think the Cardinals are going to go with here?
Well, let's see. Arizona already got the wide receiver.
Yeah.
How is their line? Do they need another lineman?
Probably. I don't. Yeah, maybe. I think to me they're either going line
defense. How about the trenches? I'll say that. Oh, wait a minute. It's a trade.
There's another trade. Here we go. Not a lot of trades last night. The trades are coming in fast and furious in the second round.
Oh, the Giants. No, kidding.
Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
So Atlanta traded with Arizona?
Oh, is that what they did?
No, wait a minute. No, yeah, Arizona went back 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 spots.
My stream is really delayed, so I'm definitely.
So who did Atlanta go? Maybe Atlanta now goes defensive side of the ball. Yep, they traded with them. Oh, that's not bad. Arizona they move back 6 spots and they get a extra third round pick. That's not bad.
Well, they won't go. Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah.
Could they go defense right now?
Yeah, they could, unless they go receiver because they got Drake London, and then
don't they have? Well, they got the tight end Pitts. They got London, right?
Yeah, that's it. So they could.
They could go wide receiver.
Look at GM Son's wearing an Adonai Mitchell Texas jersey. Think they go Mitchell here?
I missed that. I didn't see that.
Oh yeah. He's they're showing the draft room. One of the kids in the draft room is wearing a Mitchell Texas jersey.
You have the NFL Network on?
Yeah, I got NFL Network on.
Oh, I missed it. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. Truth, man, we're doing off to such a great start, and then we got a few no-shows here, but that's okay.
That happened last night too with the other guys.
That's all right. Well, it's good. It gives us more time to talk. Like I said, I got a lot to say. And listen, in the comments, guys, if you got more questions, there, ask them. We'll answer them. We got no problem. Like I said, Joker's in the house, so we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight.
Does anybody see Joe Schoen trading back at all to get an extra pick, possibly? Just throw that out there. See if you think he would do that.
Yeah. Anybody here think that he would trade back and get some extra pick? I don't know if you. I mean, maybe, but where are you gonna get the extra pick? You don't want extra later picks, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know. I'm just trying to open up a door here.
No, I agree. This is a good conversation. Hey, listen, you and I we got a lot of time to fill in here, so we got things to talk about. So you asked a question, I'm going to answer, and let the comments answer as well.
Shawnee, a few years back, we had such a long draft that I was giving Spartan Mike golf lessons. It was hilarious.
That's great.
All right, here we go. Let's see what he says. Andre Rison is going to make the announcement.
Bad Mood Rising. Nice.
Oh, you have the sound on. I don't have the sound on.
Yeah, I don't have it very high though, but like I said, I'm behind you with the stream.
He's doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, the owner on there. Yeah, they're all happy and excited. So let's see.
Oh my goodness!
Who is it?
I was right. Hey, in the trenches, Rook Aurora.
Okay.
Oh,
that
Clemson.
guy. Yeah.
I like him.
Okay.
I like him.
The Clemson guy. Yeah. He I forgot about him.
Yeah, they went defense in the trenches. He's a good player. He's a nice 3 tech,
Yeah. Yeah, he did well at the combine too. He stood out at the combine, so.
Oh.
Look at Bad Mood.
Well, that's just another spot closer. If you Giant fans here want to see a cornerback coming to the Giants, so far no one has been touched yet. No corners in second day.
You think Washington can go corner here?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, they could. Absolutely.
They need line though too.
Yeah. You mean offensive line?
Yeah.
So who's available right now? Offensive line. You got BB, interior. You got Haynes, Christian Haynes, right?
You got
Zach Frazier.
Did the Oregon State guard or the Oregon State lineman go last night?
Yes,
he did. Okay.
Yeah, he went already. But I think the kid out of Virginia, West Virginia, Frazier.
Okay.
I think he's still on the board. So there's some talent still there.
Yeah. I think let's hope, because again, the further these cornerbacks drop down, and then New England, you think you'd go receiver because they don't have, and rumor was they were interested in trading for Ayuk. So
okay, so that's a good possibility,
right? So and then you got Washington up twice within the next 5 picks.
I know. No.
Oh man.
You would think they try to get. I don't know Washington's offensive line as well, and I should know them. But you would think if they drafted a quarterback, wouldn't you think if they need to get some help in the trenches, they would do that now with these picks coming up?
I would think so, man. Their line was almost as bad as close to the Giants' bad.
Cooper Beebe will look good. He's a great pass protector.
All right, let's not will them into good picks here. Truth, they are our rival, right? Like we don't root for our rivals to have good picks. That's
The
not
pick is in.
great.
I wonder if on my phone it's faster if I could
Yeah,
find.
if you're online, I'm gonna actually go up to the website and see if they do it that way. Because my stream is a little delayed, but I mean that's all right.
Yeah, because they don't care about commercials. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it here. Anybody here listening have any kind of website that's fast that's giving out the results, the picks real quick?
Well, they may just have normal live TV, on cable. That'll go faster.
Oh,
But they won't give out the pick during the commercial. Let me see about that. I pulled up the ESPN website. I had the little tracker going, but it's in commercials, so they're not in the second and third rounds because it's online like this. They won't give out the pick during the commercial.
Oh,
yeah, so they're still in commercial, I think. So we'll see. I don't know, man. I know I said I was going to try to trivia at 8, but I don't know. I can't. I got to see how many people are in here. I don't know.
You got nobody else? How many more people do we have slotted that are supposed to come on?
Yeah, so we got I'll take a quick look here. Now we got a couple people that
it's going to be defense. I'm going to go with defense here. Washington. They gave up a lot of points per game. I think they got to get that defense side of the ball. And you got Dan Quinn, who's the new head coach, defensive guy. Oh, Darryl Green is gonna announce the pick.
Nothing on the website yet. Now it's.
This could be very big, guys. I hate to say this, being a Giant fan, but this could be very big. Washington, these 2 picks coming up.
I know. It's still Washington, though. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like Dan Quinn.
I don't know, man. Dan Quinn,
a hell of a coach, but let's be real. He gave up the 23 lead to.
He did, yes.
Right? And then what happened in last year's playoff? Truth.
Yes,
You're
right.
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 So,
yeah.
Granted, he got Atlanta to the Super Bowl, so I'll give him that. But they are. I mean, listen. Picking Daniels was a smart pick. It was a smart pick.
Yeah, I like him. I liked him.
Here, unfortunately, somebody is not able to put this up. Ben, we are sorry that you're having Wi-Fi issues, can't make it, but you're happy with
Neighbors. Ben? Oh.
Yeah, so if it changed at any point, Ben, and it gets fixed later on, let us know, because if somebody doesn't show up or something, we'll get you back on.
Yeah, Ben and I do a lot of corresponding. It's too bad. I would like to hear what he had to say. So you're leaning towards cornerback for the Giants, huh?
That's what I'm leaning.
Well, I don't know. I guess I have to stick to my mock draft. What I did, I went with the offensive line.
I mean,
I was really debating to go defensive line, but I went offense.
I don't think they'll take another lineman that high when they've taken linemen high in the last two drafts.
You're probably right. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
probably right. I don't.
And they they brought in linemen, a lot of linemen this offseason. So
Yeah, but how many years? The 3-year deal on Runyon, right? How many years with the other guy from the Raiders? 1-year deal, 2-year deal.
I think it was 2 year, maybe
Okay.
maybe three. Only the like Runyon and Illuminor, they were 2 or 3 year deals. I think it was the other guys that they signed later on that were shorter term deals.
Yeah,
They wanted to lock these two guys up.
well, they got Johnny Newton out of Illinois. That's a great pick. He's a first round talent, boy. That's a great pick.
That's right. The D lineman. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it had to be defense. They had to go defense.
I mean, here's the thing: when you look at if you follow the thing, you got to build your team based on the division. You need defense to compete with Philly and Dallas, right? Like, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yep.
I'm okay with that pick. Listen, I'm okay. That's good.
Look, they dismantled the defensive line, right? They got rid of Young. They got rid of Sweat. They still got Payne, right?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. I try not to pay attention too much to the rivals, other than Philly, because as Craig always says that Howie Roseman's the devil. So listen, and nobody's traded with Philly yet in this draft, right? Like did they
No.
trade? Yeah. So nobody should trade with Philly this entire draft, because I know there was rumors they wanted to trade. Nobody should have traded with them, so I'm glad. And by the way, they should have lost a draft pick this year for the running back who shall not be named anymore.
Isn't that still ongoing, or is that that's all?
I think it's odd that they waited to do it and not punish him for this year's draft. Like me personally, I felt like Atlanta and Philly both should have been punished in this year's draft. But
Okay.
that's me. But it's ongoing. But they better do something. There's something better happen, because none of those things should have happened. Oh, Patriots pick is in.
Yep.
I'm saying
Wide
wide receiver.
receiver. You're saying wide receiver? Okay.
What are you saying?
I think that's a very good possibility. Absolutely.
All right. Oh, we got
You want to give Drake May some weapons, right?
one of my boys coming in, so I'm gonna bring him on here.
All right.
You got to guess. This is my guy right here.
738. Okay.
It's another one of my brothers from another mother right here.
Wide receiver, guys. Jalen Pope out of Washington.
What's going on?
What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yes, absolutely. What's going on?
Nah, I'm watching. Perfect time. Look, at Patriots just took a wide receiver, so
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah, I
There we
stepped
go.
outside for a minute just because my for some reason it wasn't working on my laptop. So I'm outside just chilling right now.
Awesome, man. Well, we're excited about having you on. Thanks for being on, man.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm a little early too. Like I came on last time. I let everybody know I don't run on colored people time. I'm always there.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there. Leaning off already. I love it.
Absolutely.
People didn't show, so coming on early helped us out, man. So good job.
No doubt, no doubt. How you guys feeling?
Good. How you feeling about last night's pick, man?
I love it. I love the pick. That's the guy. I thought they would go after him anyway. I didn't think any of the quarterbacks that they would actually want would be there at 6 anyway. So, I mean, to me, that made the most sense, in that pick right there.
Yeah. Was he the guy you wanted? Did you want quarterback, or it was wide receiver all along?
That's a tough question. Probably a little bit of both, if we're being completely honest. I would have wanted a quarterback if one of the top 3 guys were there, but I figured they wouldn't be there. So then, yeah, let's go wide receiver. So, if for some odd reason May would have dropped, or we all know Caleb wouldn't have dropped, but let's just say for some odd reason he made it there, then I would have loved for them to take, Daniels, Caleb Williams or May, but I knew they wouldn't be there. So yeah, just give me the wide receiver for sure.
All right. Who do you think tonight, man? Who do you think and who do you want?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. And I said this a couple years ago when I came on the show. I don't really like obsess over players per se. It's all about the coaching for me. So whoever they pick, I just want them to coach the player up and use them to the best of their abilities, especially with a team like ours. We have so many needs. I don't think we would be mad if they went corner or if they went, D-line or even if they went offensive line. Like, I don't think we would be mad wherever they pick. So to me, I really don't care about the player. I just care about what this coaching staff is going to do once they get whatever player it is.
I like it, man. I like that take. Do you have a preference of position? What, second and third? Or second and third round?
I really want the Giants to get back to having a really good defense and getting off the field on third down. So I really want them to go somewhere on the defensive side of the ball, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah.
We struggle big time against Dallas and Philadelphia year in and year out. And what is it? We can never get them off the field on third down, and we keep giving their offenses chances after chances, or they have, they're 3rd and 1. So, Dallas and Philly, they're gonna go for it against us, and our defense usually struggles in 4th down anyway. So I really want them to go on the defensive side of the ball so we can start getting off the field and, try to build some chemistry and continuity and fluency on offense. You know what I mean?
Yep. Awesome.
You want an edge guy?
I would love that. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I look at the good teams, and they're all built like from the inside out. So, again, like I love Burns, and I think Kayvon will profit for him being there. But I want to be deeper at that position as well, honestly.
Okay. Do you think now with adding Burns that Azeez, one, will stay a little healthier since he's not a starter, and two, do you think he'll be that pass rush specialist like a Kiwanuka used to be, or guys like that? Do you think this Burns acquisition is going to make Azeez better and strengthen that depth there?
I mean, everything that he's done up until this point says that, right? I mean, when he has played, he's gotten to the quarterback. He's gotten the numbers. It's just his health has been the problem. So, yeah, if you could just bring him in situationally, you would like to believe that would be the case for him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Juice, you got a question you want to ask him?
No, well, I could tell when he was talking before that edge was on his mind.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Absolutely. I mean, again, I want to get back to those Giants defenses where we can get after the quarterback again. Dak, Jalen Hurts, these are, guys that we have to play twice a year. I'm tired of watching these guys just never get off the field on third.
Yeah. Is there a particular guy you want? Edge?
We freeze.
Field.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, I want to be the reason we're getting them off the field, not them.
Yeah.
Is there a particular edge guy you want at 47 if he's there? Do you know any of them that you feel comfortable taking?
We good now?
Yeah, you're back again.
Okay, my bad. What were you saying?
I said, is there any particular edge guy that if he's on the board and available at 47 that you want to see the Giants grab?
I don't even see the board right now. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I don't even know who's available right now. I'm actually chilling outside. Like I said, I like to joke around when I say this, but my bastard child, my daughter, she's in a band, you know what I'm saying? So she's at guitar practice right now. So I have to wait for her to get out and bring her home. So those are
where are you at right now? Where are you?
Oh, I live in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in West Hartford, Connecticut.
Nice. So there's a couple good corners still on the board, and we're like 8 picks away from picking again.
Oh,
there's Cooper DeJean and
Tennessee took Devontae Sweat.
Who took
out
him?
of Texas.
Tennessee took him. Okay.
Yep.
Listen, there could be a corner there by the time the Giants pick again.
And
so far, yeah.
Sign me up.
Right? Dude, if Kool-Aid McKinstry is there when the Giants pick again, I mean, listen, you think about this. The last couple of years, the Giants, the last few years, the Giants have had an Alabama defender drop to them, right? Like Xavier McKinney,
Yeah. McKinney.
like Landon Collins before that.
Right.
I know he's not a safety, but could he be that next Alabama guy to drop to the Giants in the second round? Holy cow!
Yeah,
I would
Yes.
love that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
he
throw
could
him out
be.
there with Banks, man. I wouldn't mind it. Not at all, man.
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all. That would be great. All right, so let me ask: who's your all-time favorite Giant? Who's your current favorite Giant?
Ooh, that's a good one. Offensively, well, I'll just go with my first favorite Giant, Stephen Baker.
The
Ah.
touchdown maker.
Yeah, touchdown.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
this one will probably be obvious, but Lawrence Taylor was one. He was one of the first guys that got me into the Giants.
Yep.
After that, let me see here. Damn, that's a good question.
Do you have a favorite current one?
No. I mean, listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I'm a Giants fan, so
Yep.
Whoever has the uniform on, I root for them and I want them to do well. Like,
That's how it should be.
yeah, what I'm saying? I really don't care. I'm team first, you know what I mean? But there hasn't really been anybody and maybe it's because of all the losing or whatever the case may be, but there hasn't been anybody who like I really gravitated towards. The last guy that I really loved was Odell. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Same here.
He was just electric. He was another type of guy. Like, if you ever, I don't know if any of you guys ever saw him play live, like in person at a game, but it was special watching him like just run past everybody. And I'm like, oh, there's no way he's gonna hit that corner. And then he hits the corner and takes it for a touchdown. It's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. But,
You're good.
but I'm like, wow. So that was probably like the last guy that I really loved. Oh man. Obviously I'm gonna put Eli up there, even though he drove me crazy sometimes. I will go with Eli, and not gonna lie, he had a short reign here, but I loved Hakeem Nicks, man. I loved him.
Yeah. It's a shame. I wish he had a longer term with the Giants.
Yeah, those injuries. He would have been. People forget about how good that dude was. That playoff
Yeah, he
game
was good.
just right.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll never forget. I mean, the guy was just amazing, and just a playmaker, and it really is sad what injuries do to people, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gravitating towards Kayvon now because I'm old school defense. Like I'm going towards the defensive player right now. Like I like what he can do, and I think he'll do even more this year with a new coach.
All right, so let me ask you a question about him, and both of you guys can answer this. Like, am I tripping? But I want to see him do more against like our rivals. Like, I don't the page against Dallas or Philly or some of these teams with the tougher O lines. Like, do you think I'm being too hard on him for that, or is it warranted? Like, I feel like I want to see him play better against the better teams. It seems like he goes missing when we're playing the better teams, but then when we're playing the teams that are roughly in our area or worse than we are, that's when we see him get his, we start to see him get his number. So do you think I'm tripping, or do you think it's a little warranted?
Yeah, Choose, you want to handle that first? Because I got
No, I don't think you're tripping. I think he's had moments where he disappears, and it seems like it's against the teams that you don't want that to happen, like you just mentioned. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a progression, probably development. Like, I think having Burns on the other side is going to probably help him, quicken his development and his production. That's what I think. Anyway,
By the way, Rams took Braden Fisk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
Florida State.
Boy,
Yeah.
boy, three defensive linemen off the board real quick too with the wide receivers. Look at that. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, Philly made a trade.
Who traded? Washington trade with them? They traded with the division?
Wait a minute.
I knew they were going to try to go.
Yeah, we have what? Yeah, Washington, I think.
Why would you? Man, why would anybody trade with Howie Roseman? I don't.
Why would you trade with you? Oh, they're all clapping now. Look at them. And the
telling
pick
you,
is
man.
in already. The pick is in already.
He knows somebody, man, that's on that Diddy list or something.
He's gonna. Oh man, is he gonna take another corner?
Of course he is.
Oh, Kool-Aid.
Of course.
Don't even start, Truce. I'm throwing names out there, man. I can't deal with Howie Roseman anymore.
Maybe they'll pay Cooper DeJean.
Good God. Well, we're gonna keep you on until the pick comes in for sure.
Okay. All right. All right.
But I'll with your point. Here's the thing within the division. When you think about who he's going against, Philly and Washington had the two best O lines in the NFL, right? So he's going against two like top tackles as a second year guy. So third year, let's see if he can improve and do better. So I don't think it's again. Who are you going against? Like Lane Johnson, right? Who shuts down almost everybody, and then
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a little blown out of proportion. You're not tripping, but I think it's a little blown out of proportion that people say he shut down against our rivals. Our rivals have the two best O lines in the NFL, arguably, right? So I think year 3. This is where I want to see him go, and with a defensive coordinator who believes in getting pressure from the edge, where Wink believed in getting pressure from blitzes and other guys, not the edge. So let's see what he does this year. That's my take.
Okay. No, I respect it. I just, again, sometimes I think certain things and I like to hear from other people's perspective too, like I like to think I know the game, but I don't think I'm know it all. And my word is the end all be all. So I like to hear things from other people.
Neither is ours.
I mean, depending on who I'm talking to, sometimes I act like I know it all. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
You know on Twitter how it goes.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. You're Kerry Collins doppelganger. So it's all good.
That's a great one, man. That's really great. I've only heard that one other time before, so yeah, that's a pretty good one.
It's all good.
I gotta see if I can get you gotta tag Kerry Collins and me and put that out there. We gotta get Collins to acknowledge that.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
That's my mission for you, man. You gotta tag me and Kerry Collins and get him to acknowledge I'm his
I missed something. What happened with Terry Collins?
He said that I'm Kerry Collins doppelganger, so I'm his lookalike.
They look alike.
Oh, lookalike. Okay.
Yeah. So we gotta get it. Well, I'll get you a pick or something to put up there, and you can tag me and him and see if we can get him to respond, man.
I don't know. He didn't seem all that. I used to go to training camp up in Albany when he was on the team, and he wasn't very interactive with a lot of the fans. So I don't know if that's changed or if that was just him.
He seems like he's a little bit more. Yeah, he seems like he's a little bit more now, at least online. You get older, you get a little more, you get a little friendlier, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah. And some of the fans were brutal. They'll be like, "Oh, go get drunk again" or something. I'm like, "Yo, relax. He just didn't want to sign an autograph for you." It's okay.
I know, man. I was so devastated when they took it because I lived in like 15 minutes from the University of Albany campus. So when they took
did you? Oh, okay.
So there was one night they're right across from the camp, and actually that's where I went my freshman year of college, is University of Albany, right? So I knew that area real well. There was a bar right across from the thing and from the campus. And one night I was in there, and Eli and David Deal and the line and Shockey all came in, and I was there with my buddy drinking, and they came in drinking. Dude, it was the coolest thing ever. Those guys were cool. And to hang out and drink with them and talk with them, and Shockey at that time was my favorite player.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, those were good times, man. I used to run into a lot of them at that. I mean, you were from the area, so that huge mall that's like down the street from the
Crossgates Mall. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to, after practice. That's when they had 2-a-days back then. So like in between the two practices, you can run into a bunch of them at the mall and stuff like that. So
yeah. So what's your take while we're waiting for? Did the Eagles pick come in yet?
It's coming in. The guy's going to make the announcement in a second. I'll let you know.
All right, yeah, put it out there. So we'll talk offense. I know your defense, but let's kind of talk offense here a little bit. What's your take on, do you think Kafka should call plays, or do you think Daboll should now call plays?
Oh, well, whoever was calling plays in the second half of the game against Arizona, our play caller.
Yeah.
That's who it should be, because that seemed like, like there was pace, there was flow, there was balance, all the things that sound like no shit Sherlock. But whoever was calling plays, that's who I want calling plays.
Yeah, my feeling is that Kafka is much better at designing plays than he is calling plays. He doesn't have a feel in the game. And Daboll, that's what got him hired. Just call the plays, man.
I again, do whatever it takes to win. That's what I'm for. So, I mean, if he's the play designer, and, I know a lot of coaches don't like being the caller, but, man, don't you want to win? Don't you want to, be good? So, yeah, man, I mean, if
Oh,
Who'd they take?
Cooper DeJean.
They took another effing. Well, you know what though? He'll probably transition to safety.
That's what I think too. But we knew it was going to be one of those two guys, right?
Well,
Oh
you
yeah,
go-
absolutely.
dude. There's a real good shot that Kool-Aid could fall to the Giants, man.
How many more picks until the Giants?
They
Six.
got 1, 2, 3, 4,
6 more.
6 more. You got New Orleans, Houston, Arizona, Vegas, Green Bay, Indy.
Don't jinx us, man. I think one of those guys could go corner.
Who?
I would guess maybe Houston because they got what's the young guy over there that they just drafted?
CJ Young.
No, the corner.
Stroud.
No, the corner. Yeah, who was the
Is it Stingley or something?
Stingley
Like
Jr.? Yeah,
that?
Stingley Jr.
Yes, yeah. I could see them. I could see them going. I could see the Texans doing it.
They could. I gotta pull up who because I know there's other top corners that have fallen right now. Because if
Oh
if
yeah,
Cooper-
you still
if
got,
Cooper
you still
lasted
got the
this
kid,
long,
Rickshaw. Rickshaw's still out there.
Yeah. But he may drop even further.
Yeah, they're all dropping. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I still want to see trenches. I still want to see the trenches. New Orleans made a trade.
Oh,
Okay.
with the
So
Giants.
Mike, let me ask you a question. You're saying that you want Trent. Like, do you have a specific person in mind that you want, or?
Yeah, I did a mock draft, so I guess I should stick to it. I want a Cooper Beebe. I wanted to get more girth on the interior line, younger. I know that they went after Lyman in the free agency, but I still think there's you can compete on one side other than the other side of Runyon.
Okay. Okay.
I just think they need to build up for that line for a decade, not just a couple of years. That's all.
I agree. And do you want Evan Neal off the field or on the field?
Well, I know he's going to get a chance right now. If he doesn't do it, then that's why they got that other guy from the Raiders that he jumps right in.
How many weeks you giving him?
Well, let's see. Depends how badly he does, but is it fair enough to say you give him at least a quarter of the season? Is that fair enough or too much?
Oh, I think I would say it depends on who we're playing the first few weeks, but I'm willing to go
Oh, no!
at the highest. What happened?
New Orleans took Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Oh, of course. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Although, and listen, if they get there, I know they had Max Melton in for 30.
Yeah, he's a third round. I think I see third round with him, don't you?
You got, I mean, he's projected second or third. So you got a couple guys corners that still could be there. I mean,
I'll tell you, I like the kid out of Boston College. I had him on mine. Isaiah Jones, big, tall, lanky kid.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I like him. He likes to hit, likes to give contact. Not afraid to run support. I like him. And he's probably going to be a early day three pick.
Here's a sleeper at that corner position for the Giants. Johnny Dixon out of Penn State. That defense was so good last year.
They were very good.
Right? Like he could be a guy. He could be a guy maybe. I don't know if they will, but Melton might be the pick.
Yeah, from Rutgers, right?
Yeah.
State.
At this point, I don't know, man. But well, listen, you got to get back into the concert. We kept you in a little longer, but
Oh no, I mean she's just practicing.
oh,
So,
okay.
what I'm saying? Hopefully my hard-earned money is going to Nah, she had a show last weekend and she actually did really good. I wanted to boo her so bad, but she was doing good, so I couldn't boo her.
Nice. Well, let me kind of ask this. So we covered a lot here tonight. It was good. So before I let you go here, what do you think?
Smart Mike.
What do you think the Giants do next year? What's your prediction for record?
Oh, okay. We play the North, AFC North, and NFC South. I like 9 wins.
Okay.
I think we'll do very well against the South. A lot of it depends on when we play. When we're playing people. I could see them. I could see them getting maybe Seattle next year randomly. You know, I mean, if Daniel Jones actually played decently and not threw that pick six, I think we would have had a good shot against them last year. Who are we playing from the north? The Vikings. I like our chances against them as well. So, yeah, I do. You know, we always beat Washington twice, so you know what I mean. It's one of those things where I see them getting to about 8 or 9 wins if we can get some decent quarterback play.
Yep, I agree. Not a bad prediction. And there may be a run of cornerbacks right now because Kamari Lassiter just got picked by the Texans. So let's see if the run of cornerbacks go and what the Giants pick. But stick around if you can in the comments too, because we're going to do that trivia here a little bit later as well. So maybe you can win one of those straight off the couch shirts.
Oh, nice. All right. Hey, man, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate it. All right, later, man.
All right, be safe. Yep.
Hey, you're jinxing us here now. Now Kamari Lassiter just got picked.
I know. I didn't mention him. I just said he got picked. So,
oh, I didn't hear you. Okay.
Yeah, listen. So our lovely host, the man who runs the show, had to get a little dig into me, a little payback. So I'm gonna put this up. We were talking about Kerry Collins' doppelganger. This is what Craig said.
Except you can't. He could throw the football.
Yeah. Look at Craig. I can't throw a ball. All right.
Well, he's really ripping into you.
Well done. Well, listen, I got him a couple times tonight, so I'll give him that. I'll let him have that one. You know what they say, Truth. Respect your elders. So, all right. Listen, before we got Mark, who's going to come on here in a minute. So we all know Mark. He's always in the chat. So we're going to bring him on. He'll be on. I'm going to bring on here in a minute. So let me bring him on here. Mark, welcome, man. Welcome. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Hi, guys. How you guys doing?
What's up, Mark?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
I'm good.
Yeah. For me, it's good to put a face with the comments because I know you're always commenting there. So,
all right.
Good to meet you, man.
There you go. The face. You may not want to see the face anymore after this.
Don't worry. I got a face only a mother can love, so we're good. So
right.
We're getting close. We're getting close, guys.
We are. So I want to ask this before we get to the Giants pick. How did you feel about the Neighbors pick? Was there somebody else, another position you wanted there, or what were you thinking last night?
No, I'm great with the Neighbors pick. I mean, we need players that are, blue chip players. We need blue chip players, as many blue chip players as possible. I know we always talk about depth, but we really need blue chip players. We need really quality players at as many positions as possible. So yeah, Neighbors is great. He kind of fits the system, I think. He fits what Dable wants to do in terms of move around the wide receiver in any position. So he can play, the Y, the Z, the X, everything. So I really love the pick. I mean, I think realistically, if we had the opportunity to get the QB that we love, sure, we should have gone and get. But if you can't do that, then don't force it. You can't force it. And I think some QBs were forced last night for sure, in my opinion. Yeah. So, but yeah, I can't not love the pick. So I mean, we just have to work with what we got and keep going from there. If now we could get not that you're trying to draft position, but it just so happens that the strength of the draft probably at this point in time is probably CB, probably receiver, maybe so that's probably where the strength is at this moment. So
flying out the board now, Mark.
And I see that. I kind of figured when I looked at that, only 3 were picked yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and I was like, these guys are going to fly off the board at the beginning of today, and that's exactly what's happening. I'm hoping like someone like a Max Melton is kind of there. I know everybody's he's flexible, but probably would play, I guess, a slot in the NFL, I suspect, and we could certainly use a good slot defender in our team. I mean, I know Darnay Holmes is back, and I don't want to overlook him because he had been playing man system all along, and that's not his strength. You know, probably better zone, and maybe he might actually play better. I don't know. I can't say, but I'm not sure about Flott in the slot either. He might be better on the outside, but you never know. So, but it's good to have competition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have
I don't know if
competition.
Milton. You think Milton would be a reach at 47?
Some people, I guess, people were talking about him in the third round.
Yeah.
People were talking about in the third round, but I mean, if they're playing, I actually like him. I actually like him. I don't think he's a reach. Personally, I don't think so. It's like the middle of the second round.
He's fast, 4.39 40. So
Yeah, I think
know.
yeah, I like his tools. I like his tools. I think he's good. So I don't see him as a reach, but maybe some others might.
I mean, his brother plays in NFL, so you know that's another positive working for him as well. You know, you come from a family who's in the NFL, right? So I look to that. That's something gives that. You know, like I said, you know, a couple minutes ago, something about Johnny Dixon stands out to me as well. You come from that Penn State defense. You know, like he's another guy I could look at. I remember if he was one of the local visits or not. If he was on there, I thought he was.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, because I know they had Chop Johnson on.
Yes.
Not Chop Johnson. And they had Theo Johnson in and Chop
Theo
Robinson.
Johnson, yeah. Rob Robinson. Yeah.
So remember if they had Johnny Dixon in for.
I don't recall. I don't recall. I do remember Chop Robinson. I do remember, Theo Johnson for sure. I mean, that's also a possibility too.
Hey, Max Melton just got picked by Arizona.
Oh my God.
Well, all right. So I guess he wasn't a reach.
I guess he wasn't.
We all said he wasn't a reach. Run on corner. So, all right. So how many more picks? Who we still got?
I think there's 3 more picks before the Giants go.
I don't think
Who's left? I mean, what about tight end?
I mean, I don't know if you can go tight end that high in second round, can you? I mean, listen, Jatavian Sanders, we talked about earlier, right? We thought he was going to go high. So if he's
still got the trenches, you still got some guys in the trenches who are pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, you got the linebacker out of Texas A&M, Cooper. Yep. I mean, man, I could see that. You got Jackson Powers Johnson available, right?
Yeah.
Like,
he's a center, though, right? Is he strictly a center?
No, he can play. He can move. I mean,
he can play guard. He can play guard.
Yeah, they put him there in the Senior Bowl.
But I think he would be better at center. But we already got center. But you never know. But
you got guys like Chris Jenkins still there from Michigan. You got a lot of guys still there.
Here's a name I'm going to throw out. Peyton Wilson, linebacker out of NC State.
Oh, Peyton Wilson.
I wonder.
You're not concerned about his injuries or anything?
Yeah, he had some injuries.
I mean, he did, but man, it just the speed of that dude and the instincts. Like, I get it. You know.
Oh, Jackson Powers Johnson just got picked by Las Vegas.
See, I gotta stop mentioning people's names. Every time I mention somebody's name, another team picks them. Right? Has that not been happening tonight, Truth?
Yeah.
I mean, he had some injury issues or something like that as well. That's probably why he dropped. I think there's some concern about him and injury. I think so.
Yeah, that's a good pick though for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Didn't they pick another lineman in the first round too?
The Raiders.
Yeah, who'd they pick in the first round?
Who did they pick in the first round?
They got Brock Bowers in the first round.
Yes, right.
My namesake.
No, I think so. I think
this is getting interesting, fellas. This is getting interesting.
I'm gonna put this up real quick because Mark, we'll get your take too. So got the feeling the lack of movement on the Giants' part may indicate a running back for pick 47. What do we think?
Wow. So who is it going to be? Is it going to be the kid out of I wouldn't think it would be Trey Benson this early. You think it would be him?
I don't know. I mean, I saw Dan Duggan and a couple other guys say that. I know these guys are in the know. They kind of know certain things are happening. So who knows, right? Could be Benson, could be Brooks, could be, I don't know.
I hope it's not Brooks. I don't know if he's the right fit for the Giants. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't. I'd rather have Benson.
I just don't really see the. I don't really see the need, but unless it's the best player available. But I don't really see the need for the running back that much.
Me neither. Not round two. Me neither.
I can't see round two either. Yeah. I mean,
when in doubt, build the trenches up.
Well, he could be an old lineman, but a developmental guy. Who knows? We've spent a lot of money, not a lot of money, but we've got a lot of players in free agency.
We did.
A couple of them we've paid. A couple of them we kind of, And so, we'll see. The question really, I think, in the season will be whether or not Izudu and McKeithen can develop. If they can't develop, well, then that doesn't help our depth, and we really got to replace them. But
Green Bay's just got Cooper.
Adrian Cooper.
I'm not mentioning more names. Done.
Don't
names.
Well,
See?
I'm going to mention. Don't you just hate the Eagles?
Yes.
They get the top CB and the top two CBs out of the top 5, 3, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. But listen, Howie's day's coming, man. You can't do those contracts the way he does and not have it come back to bite you.
I agree with you. At
some point, his day is coming, and people are gonna be like, he's not a genius anymore. So, wow.
If the draft picks don't work out, that's when it hurts, because now you don't have the player on the cheap anymore.
Yeah. Well, so far, not all of his draft picks have worked out, right? Like Nakobe Dean didn't work out for him. There's a couple others that haven't worked out. So, he's better in free agency at this point. Don't get me wrong, he's been good in the draft, but I think he brings in talent from free agency a little bit better, I think.
Yeah. If you get a couple of years where the draft picks don't work out, and you don't win anything, then you're hurting for sure.
Yeah.
And you gotta go again.
Yeah, Carolina just traded up with Indy, flip-flop with Indy, and they just picked.
I just think the Giants not moving up and not being aggressive just has to do with the fact that they only have 6 picks.
Yeah.
I just think that's all it is.
And that's what we said a lot on Twitter, didn't we? You made those comments. It's hard when you only have 6 picks. You don't want to give up stuff for next year either,
Yeah. Well, and Shane said a number of times in his press conference he was going to let the board talk to him, and he's letting the board talk to him right now.
Yeah. But
right?
you remember we were having that discussion, Sean, about everybody might stay pat.
Yep.
Remember we had that discussion?
Yep.
And that's exactly how it worked out.
Yeah, there was 3 or 4 trades in the first round, but it wasn't until later on. Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
But the top went exactly as we talked about that it was probably going to go.
Yeah.
Stay put. So there's just a lot of talent in this draft. So.
Yeah, did you guys? I've heard a couple of times now that the Giants were being asked, not that they offered, but they were being asked the first round next year. They're obviously the first round this year and the second round pick. Did you hear that as well?
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's too much.
I think if it was the third round, maybe, but I think the Giants certainly want to keep that second round pick.
Yeah.
But that's my thought. I think maybe I'm just guessing at it,
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, let's see who the Panthers select. And I think we'll do the trivia question.
Jonathan Brooks, another name we mentioned.
Jonathan Brooks, huh? All right.
Running back. Yeah. First running back off the board.
All right. Do we think corner here for the Giants?
Well, who's left at corner?
Who are the best players?
Innis Ragashaw, right? The kid, he's a little undersized, isn't he?
He didn't have a good combine. You got top guys. You still got Johnny Dixon. Again, Cam Hart out of Notre Dame.
That's a little too early for Cam Hart.
Yeah, Cam Hart. Mm-hmm.
You got Javon Bullard out of Georgia.
Bullard's a safety, isn't he?
They list him as he's cornerback or safety. 4.47 speed, so he can do corner.
Boy, oh boy.
I like that pick, man. I know he's injured, but that was the guy that I would have liked to seen the Giants get at some point. But I'm a big fan of that guy.
He's a little. Is he?
Here we go. Here we go. Here's an interesting name. This is a great point right here. So Giants fan,
TJ Tampa.
TJ Tampa. That would be Iowa State. That'd be a great pick.
Oh,
Yeah,
Iowa State. Is that Iowa State?
Yep, Iowa
Yeah.
State.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about him. I forgot about him because I remember seeing one of the beat writers bringing up that name too.
He's got good
So,
length, right?
yeah.
6'1", right? About 190, 199, 200 pounds, right?
Yep.
How
Hey,
about that? Yes.
What I'm going to do here, Mark, we're going to overlap a little bit with Jasmine
Sure.
on here as well, so both you guys can
Sure.
see the Giants pick. All right, here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Giant Singh, thanks for joining
Hey.
us. We got you on with Mark, so you guys can both see the Giants pick. So
How you guys doing?
I already know it's safety. Tyler Nubin.
Hey, the pick's in already, guys.
Yep, Tyler Nubin.
Tyler, that's a great pick. Is it really Tyler Nubin? You saw it already?
Yep.
Really?
Wow.
What the heck you got? What kind of hi-fi you got going on?
Twitter. It's called Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's,
inside-
real
That's a
quick.
good
Inside
pick.
source.
That's a good pick.
That's a
It is.
really
It is from
great
Minnesota.
pick.
Yeah, that's a good guy. I mean, we needed a safety after McKinney left. So
Yeah,
so this is a great pick.
yeah.
After we
All-time
we
interception.
didn't left with anything, right? We didn't trade up, right? Eagles got what they wanted.
Yep.
You know, we needed like someone on the corner, right? So let's see if safety can help.
That's a guy who could do a lot, man. He could play in the box. He could play back. He could do a lot of stuff. Be in
I like
blitz packages.
I
I
like
guess
it.
that's why Shane didn't move up.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. I didn't think they'd go safety that high, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Shane's putting pieces together. That's what I would say. I mean, everyone's
First safety
probably
off the
not
board
liking
too,
him.
by the way.
What is it?
First safety off the board.
Yeah, first safety. Yeah,
I think with Bowen's defense, I mean, he uses three safeties a lot. So, and he wants flexibility in the safety. So I guess from that perspective, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Right. Well, and again, he set the interception record at all time at University of Minnesota, right? That's pretty good when you think that Winfield Jr. came out of there. The other, like that guy was, and truth again, another guy I talked about in the draft show. He was one of the guys I talked about as well when we did safeties. So I like it. You guys, I mean, we happy, we excited about the pick. What do we love it.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm good.
you
I'm
know.
good with the pick.
He's
Yeah,
a top rated safety actually. Yeah. So yeah, why
yeah,
not?
absolutely. I'm good with the pick. No,
I mean, I'm
no
sure if we would have taken what's the guy from Rutgers?
Melton.
Max Melton.
Yeah, Melton. Yeah, either him or we had another guy, right? Cooper, the Eagles took.
Yeah, the Cooper. Yeah, Cooper DeJean. Yeah,
Yep.
DeJean.
So
yeah.
either one of those would have been better, but whatever. I mean, we're in tough spot.
Yep.
No, yeah, I
What do you
think
guys what do you guys say about number one pick? I mean, number one that we got last night, number 6.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I was a Doomsday fan, but I like Neighbors as well.
I love Neighbors. That's what I made his post when everyone asked me like what do you want? Like I'm like I'll take Neighbors anytime. If we don't get a quarterback, then stick with 6 and get Neighbors. That's it.
Yeah.
yeah, the kind of player he is exactly what I think Dable likes. That and he likes to stick around with pieces. I mean, even last year, Slayton probably played more time in the slot than he ever played in his career. You know what I mean? So shifting around and doing.
But still, with all these guys, Clayton, Wandell, like Hyatt is still learning, right? I mean, all these guys are not true wide receiver ones. That's the only thing. That's the one missing piece that we're trying to get in any draft.
sure.
Class, like no one
For
has
sure.
stepped up after Beckham. So that's what and plus he's coming from the same school where Beckham went, right? LSU.
Yeah.
Some people call him a Beckham 2.0. I heard. Like I don't know. It's too early to compare. I mean, until I see him in like training camps and stuff. I don't know what he does. But
He's probably tougher. He's probably a little tougher, in my opinion.
I
But
think Jamar made a good point. He's more like Jamar Chase to me.
Yeah, he's more Jamar Chase. Like
Yeah,
I know
Jamar Chase,
Yeah, it's easy for Giants fans to say we got another Odell Beckham, but because he played for the Giants. But if you really look at it, he's more Jamar Chase than he is Beckham. Right?
Yeah.
That's my thing there. So, well, Mark, listen, man, we appreciate you being on, man. We appreciate your support. You're always in the comments. Glad that both you guys, Jasmine, we're gonna have you stay on too for the time. But Mark, man, always a pleasure. Always appreciate the support and 2 good picks, man. And go Giants.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a blast. Have a good rest of the night, guys.
All right, stick around for that trivia, but you can't Google.
I can't. Okay.
You're the only one. Just kidding. All right, man. We'll see you later.
All right, then. Take care.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
So,
you're looking at 2 picks. The Giants got 2 really high skill, athletic players, right? That's what they need, talent.
Yeah, number two wide receiver in the draft, and number 1 safety in the draft. Yeah.
so here's the thing. Like, you got guys that, I already see some guys who complain about the pick, but what they're not realizing is the process, right? Like, they went BPA and both picks. Like, when a guy like Tyler Nubin drops you, yes, we need a cornerback too, right? But there wasn't who was left there that you could take that was better than Tyler Nubin, right? Like, Tyler Nubin.
I think 4 out of 5 before the Giants were all cornerbacks.
Yeah. So
there's no one left on like that you could still draft a cornerback like later, maybe in the 3rd round. I think we have how many picks we have in 3rd round?
1.
We still have 1. Oh yeah, so we have 1 in every, right? Except
1 through 6. No 7.
No 7, right? Yeah, that's what we gave last year. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Craig's not happy. Here we go. Oh, we needed Craig on video.
Yeah, tell
Right?
Craig to get on.
Come on, Craig, come on, man. This is Wandale all over again for you right here.
I don't know why he's upset with Tyler Nubin.
I don't know, because it's a safety. Listen, Truth likes to pick. Here, I'll put this up. Go ahead. Sorry. This is what Cole
listen.
What do you think about the pick, Truth?
No, I like the pick. I mean, look, I was thinking the trenches for me, but hey, he's a solid pick. I had safety in round 3 in my mock, so I mean, this is a good solid pick. How could you not like this kid?
Right? He was projected to go a lot higher than he went. So, I mean, who else Jasmine? Who else you taking there? Like, if you look BPA, who else can you take there?
See,
right?
Craig is saying, can a safety play
I can't think of
quarterback?
anyone else. I mean, maybe that quarterback. I mean, I don't know. Everyone was talking about
TJ Hampton?
No.
Tampa?
What was the other one?
He was a TJ Tampa, right?
It's Tampa, yeah. But they might be able to get him in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Shane felt that all the corners that are gone now, there weren't anybody better than Nubin. Even, you know what I mean? A corner.
I mean, they needed help there. I mean, he could definitely. I don't know if he can replace McKinney though. I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, listen, I covered him on the draft show, and Craig, I'll say this too. He's not solid. He's really really good. And again, I'll keep saying this: if you set the all-time interception record at the University of Minnesota, which has produced really good safeties, you're doing something really good. But you can't. I get it. We needed a corner. We needed a guard. We also needed a quarterback, right? But we're not going to reach. Shane is not going to reach. So I like Tyler Nubin draft.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean, I know what Craig's thinking because I like the trenches, but you can't argue with this. I mean, he's he went best player on the board. You have to do that sometimes.
Yeah, and you upgraded the right, Jasmine? You upgraded the trenches in the offseason. You got Illuminor, you got running.
That's why I was never worried about O-line as of right now because we added the depth. We upgraded a little bit, The only position I'm worried about.
I still like to see
I'm worried about, and I said that on SNY too with Brendan, that when we sign Illuminor, that if we are bringing that guy in, right? What do you see Evan Neal? And they said the same thing. There's going to be a big competition. So this training camp is actually going to be up for grabs. Whoever, if it's a breakout or miss out year for Evan Neal. I mean, if he wants that next contract, or if he wants at least something, at least a year, or he wants us to pick up like his like 5th-year option or something, he needs to step up. He needs to show at least that we can trust him.
So the loser at between Neil and Imanov will be the guard. That's what we're talking about.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
it's tough to say. I mean, I don't know what Dable thinks. I don't know what Dable has planned. I mean, Dable still says that he, like, Evan Neal is progressing. Evan Neal is still good, But
I mean, here's the thing.
It's tough to say.
Get him a better coach. Like, I can't fault Neal when you had Bobby Johnson as your coach and the entire old line stank, and we're getting on Evan Neal for.
He was injured too last year, wasn't he? Playing hurt?
Yeah, he was injured.
And even Bobby mentioned last year in the offseason that he actually worked on him specifically one-on-one, making his foot movement right and whatnot. Like I think he was on one of the top
And
shows.
he made him worse. He made him worse by working with him. And he had to go to a private coach in the offseason to correct what Johnson did. I mean, don't get me started on Bobby Johnson. You guys all know. You've heard me talk about it. So it's all good.
I've seen enough of him, yeah.
Yeah. Shane Bowen likes to use 3 safeties. So now your 3 safeties are Newman, Pinnock, and Dane Belton. And maybe they view Jalen Mills as a corner because he plays both corner and safety. And maybe there's a shot they bring Adoree back, figure he's more motivated because I believe Adoree was there when Bowen was there as well in Tennessee.
I hope not.
I mean, listen, I'm just saying worst case scenario, right? So, like, you don't really know, and maybe you get a thing there.
They can still draft a corner later. There's a couple of guys still on the board.
I know. And Craig, listen, that's why you don't like it here because you didn't like Wandale in the second round either, and it worked out well. So this is good. This is good. I mean, again, great teams build their roster by BPA, not by need. Right? Would you guys agree with that?
To some extent, yes. Absolutely.
And when teams reach, then they get in trouble. I get it. We needed a cornerback too, but we needed a safety. And
so Craig is saying it doesn't improve the offense.
Well, that's what Malik Neighbors was for.
Yeah, but I don't think they're done offensively. I think they're going to draft a running back. I still do.
They will still, yes.
Yeah, they're not done offensively.
No.
And I mean, I agree.
They have to bring our young legs out there. I mean, Singletary, I don't know. He's good.
Who do you like? Who do you like right now?
Running
third, fourth, fifth, sixth round. Who do you like?
I did not see anything much in detail on that, like, to be frank.
Okay.
Like, so I don't want to pick somebody like then everyone's come back to me like, oh no, you picked the wrong guy. Because so far 2 years in a row I'm been right. Because I said last year too that Deonte Banks gonna go to Giants in first round. I said that to Art, and this year again I was with Art yesterday, and I did tell him that I think Malik Neighbors is like, so I'm good with like first rounders. I don't know if I could pick it right after that.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, Tyler Newman was the number 1 safety on everybody's draft boards when it comes to, right? So you got the number 1 safety in the draft in the second round when he was projected to possibly go late first round.
Yep.
Or early second. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I can see both sides. I can understand we need a corner, get the corner there, but the corner you're taking there isn't better than what Tyler Nabin is going to do.
No, I want to know who Craig. I want to know who Craig thinks.
Nor is an old lineman there. Listen, I'm all about trenches. I'm all about the old line, but the old line you're taking there isn't going to be better than the Tyler Newman and improving your team overall, right? Like that, the guys were gone there. I mean, yeah,
we can still add depth to old line like later down the line, Yeah, because there's going to be definitely going to be guys releases and like in the off season, like like by cutting time. I mean, we can definitely add guys over there.
Yeah, I agree. So getting onto that, like, who do you think third round? What position is your prediction? And then do you have a player you think in the third round for the Giants?
I don't have a player, but yeah, definitely if we can get maybe a running back, like in the third round, and then maybe go for a quarterback in fourth. Okay. That's what I think.
Do you think tight end could be a possibility? Do you think tight end could be a spot?
If Waller makes up his mind and like by tomorrow, yes. Because don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, I met him last year. I mean, he's a great guy. He showed potential. He like as long as he can stay healthy, first thing, and he can make up his mind that he has to retire or he has to come back. He can just like hang around in the middle and keep us in jeopardy. But like, oh, Giants, we're gonna miss the draft. We're not gonna draft any tight end, or we're not gonna add any more people. Bellinger is good, but I mean, Waller is Waller. He's a red zone threat, and you saw him last year. He was a red zone threat.
Yeah,
with any comeback,
Yeah, I agree. If he comes back, if his mind's in it, maybe he'll be refocused once the personal issues with the divorce are out of his way. Like, who knows?
Everything.
Who knows at this point, right?
His song. I heard he had a song coming out too, right?
Yeah. So I mean, listen, if you're wondering, I'm wondering if he's going to go the Strahan path of like, man, I don't need no more training camps. I don't need more off season. I'm just going to show up and play, right? Like, all right, okay, I got no problem with that.
Strahan was Strahan. I mean, you can still put him in the middle. Maybe he can get a couple of sacks right there. But yeah,
yeah. I'm going to put this up real quick because Cole had a good thought here, and I'll get your.
Oh, about Gilmore?
Yeah. What about taking a look at Gilmore? I mean, there's some free agent cornerbacks still available.
How much would he cost Gilmore?
I mean, he's a veteran. You might be able to get him for not a lot. I mean,
how much cap space do the Giants have? Like, they got to sign these free agents. They got to sign these draft picks.
So we need at least like 8 to 9 mil, right? For two.
I think isn't there a couple or at least one Titans cornerback that's still available? So maybe your new DC who came from Tennessee, you get one of those cornerbacks to fill in and do it. And again, they may still take a cornerback in the third round. There's some guys you could potentially get there. I don't know.
Running back, anything, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
because right now we have what, Singletary and Brightwell, right? Oh no,
I know it's Gray. I don't know if Brightwell's still there.
Oh, Gray, yes.
Gray's there
last year,
yeah. And Corbin's kind of there, Deshaun Corbin, but I think it's just
probably going to be on the practice squad, like most likely.
Yeah. So, well, listen, Judge, we appreciate you being on, and stick around in the comments because I'm gonna do the trivia question right now for everybody. So stick around in the comments, and I know I got Joey in the waiting room. So Joey, we're gonna get you on as soon as they do the trivia question here. So
thank you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, man.
Great job.
My pleasure.
All right, so Rush family, we're gonna do a trivia question here. Whoever answers first in the comments is gonna win a Justin Pugh straight off the couch t-shirt. It's pretty dope. I don't know if you guys saw the picture there or not, but here is the question. Which former Giants linebacker served as the New York Jets Director of Player Development? And I'm going to make it a little easier, Truth. You think should I give him the 4 options or let him just guess? Okay.
No.
All right, so let me repeat that question. Which former Giants linebacker served as the New York Jets Director of Player Development?
Let's just tell him the guy played. Let's just make it like give him an era, like from 1980 to now. He played for the Giants.
Listen, Truth, you're trying to give all kinds of things here. So it's going to be somebody who played for the Giants in the 70s and 80s, somewhere in that range.
All right.
And 80s are there. And so, all right, so we're going to bring Joey on. Craig's asking questions in the comments. No, there's not. There's one person we're bringing him on now. And we've had multiple people on, Craig. Awesome. Well, Truth, we got a winner.
You got a winner.
We got a winner. Joey, we're going to bring you on to announce the winner. Joey, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So we have the winning answer. I'm going to let you say who won and what the winning answer was to that question. Sound good?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Let's see. And
highlight it.
Yep. There you go. Can you see it?
No. He wasn't first.
Oh, he wasn't?
No.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Milan. My fault. There we go. All right. There it is, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Mark Thompson, you won the correct answer with Carl Banks.
Yes. Awesome. Great job, John. Joey, you can have a job.
You got a good announcer voice.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mark. You have won a Justin Pugh straight off the couch t-shirt. We'll make sure we get that to you So I'm sure Craig already has your information. If he doesn't, make sure you get that to us. And we'll
And
get
a
that-
dinner for two with Carl Banks.
Right, yeah. Carl just doesn't know it yet. So, well, Joe, I know you were back there hearing it. So, what's your take on the Giants pick in the second round?
I think it's a smart pick. You know, if there was a big run on the cornerback, so you go with the best safety in the draft and Tyler Nubin, right?
Yep.
Tyler Nubin. So one thing about our new defensive coordinator, apparently he really loves safeties and working them into his scheme. So in my opinion, a corner or safety is almost equal as far as need at this point. And you have a big shoe that you have to fill with McKinney leaving. So I like it. I think it's a good pick. I like the pick in the first round as well with Malik Neighbors, even though I kind of wanted a quarterback. But one thing that Joe Schoen does not do is he doesn't reach and he never goes against his board. He will take the best player and he'll round out the rest of the roster as he sees fit. And I think he's just moving quarterback to 2025 at this point and address it then.
Yeah.
You know, you tied up all this money in Daniel Jones. You gave him this contract. Yeah, last year didn't go the way we wanted, but we tightened up the offensive line, and now we have all the weapons in the world. I think he has no excuse with wide receivers now. This is one of the most dangerous wide receiver rooms in the NFL. If Malik Neighbors is as advertised, you have Wandale, who's one of my favorite picks that Joe Schoen has made, and then you have Jalen Hyatt. If he can just refine his technique a little bit more, you have a very dangerous trio. Oh, and yeah, you have Darius Slayton still. So if you ever go 4 wide.
Right.
So,
and they're all like within that 4.3, 4.4 range too. It's
Yeah.
like extremely fast. And the funny thing was when you think about it, like they're all SEC receivers.
yeah, they are. Well, they always go up against the best competition.
Right?
Yeah. And
Yep.
Mike Kafka comes from the Andy Reid tree of speed, blazing speed, and it's hard to defend all of it. So creating separation.
So good point. So I asked this earlier to somebody else. Do you think Kafka calls plays this year again, or do you think Daboll takes it over? Because he's done research in the offseason of head coaches who are calling plays either offensively or defensively. So do you think Kafka stays? Do you think Daboll calls it? And who do you want to call plays?
I think Daboll will call the plays, and I think he needs to. If you're a head coach and you're going into year 3, your offense hasn't really put up an avalanche of points the last 2 seasons. If calling plays and offensive scheme is what you do best, you have to do it. I think they promoted Kafka to the assistant head coach or whatever there was. I think he's going to oversee some of the process during the course of the game, so Daboll has the opportunity to do it. And you saw at times when Daboll took over. I don't care what anyone says. During that Arizona game in the second half, he was the one calling plays. Completely different offense. So he just has a knack for that. And if you want to unlock this offense, especially with all the weapons that it has, you need to put him in the driver's seat as far as calling plays is concerned.
I agree. And 2 other points, and I brought this up earlier too, I didn't bring this up, but I think Kafka's going to get a head coaching job at some point. So if you're going to make the change, now's the time to make that change so that you don't have to worry about finding another OC or play caller. It just makes sense. And you, like you said, he got promoted so he could become a head coach. Like there's no doubt in my mind. That's why he did that. Right. So I think Kafka is a better play designer than he is a play caller. He doesn't have the feel of the game that I think Daboll does. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. That just takes time and experience. Daboll's been doing it for how long? Kafka's, recently within the last 2 or 3 years when he was in Kansas City, but takes time to refine it, I would think.
Yeah. So where, by the way, where are you joining us from?
South Plainfield, New Jersey.
Nice. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so.
Who's your all-time favorite Giant player, and who's your current Giant player, if you have one?
I was always a diehard Eli fan, even when he was in college at Ole Miss. I was thrilled that we drafted him. I followed his career. Just shows how I'm getting older now that he's Hall of Fame eligible at the end of this coming season. Yeah. But and my current favorite Giant is Wan'Dale Robinson. I absolutely love that kid. And I think he could be dangerous. He's one of the more talented players that we have.
I agree.
I know you were saying Craig hated that pick. I didn't know that, but I hate to tell him. He's one of our best players so far.
Yeah, and Craig, in his defense, he didn't hate the player. He just hated where he was picked.
He was taken? Okay.
Round guy, yeah. Which
fair enough.
Proven to be he's going to prove that he was a second round. It was the right pick, in my opinion.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
saw, right? So, and again, when you produce like you do in the SEC, I'm gonna take that all day long. Like, I'm sorry until
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like, so okay. And then did you say who's your favorite current Giant player? Do you have one?
Wandale is my current favorite
Oh,
player.
yeah,
Yep.
Jeez, sorry. All right. Craig got me all flustered because Craig was complaining about Craig complained about Howie and what their picks, and they got the perfect picks and the other thing. So yeah, that's why Craig's upset about the pick because
Yeah.
not feeling what they did.
Well,
So where are we going round 3?
I would say running back or tight end at this point. You know, one thing about the running backs, why is everyone so quick to give up on the kid we drafted last year? Oh my God, his name's escaping me right now.
Eric Gray.
Eric Gray. How come everyone's so quick to give up on him? Later in the season, when they started to gain a little bit of momentum offensively, he had flashes of, he's not a game-breaking type of speed, but he always seemed to get 5, 6, 7 yards, those, the tougher yards. So I'm not so down on him as everyone else is, and we do need to add a running back as far as depth is concerned, but I wouldn't give up on him just yet.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, you got to give these guys a chance. I mean, God, 1 year is not fair for a rookie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Tight end would be a nice glaring need.
he might be that complimentary back because he's not the breakaway speed. I know it's early, but here's the thing. So I'm a former running back, so I judge running backs very, very hard. I just haven't seen – I know he's a rookie, but there's things that I haven't seen that says he's going to be really good. Now, he could prove me wrong, but I still think you need that third. And even if we give him a shot, get 3 guys. Go back to that Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Yeah.
Ward, Bradshaw, and Jacobs, right? Like, I don't think you can have enough. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if maybe he's that short yardage guy. Maybe he's that that thumper. Who knows? Who knows? But I know at Oklahoma he didn't have the breakaway speed. He produced, but he just couldn't. He wasn't that home run threat. He was the get him the carries, he'll get the yardage type guy. That's what I think. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. With that, Truth, you got other questions for Joey here?
Well, let's see. I think I'll ask this question. We're getting into round 3. Do you think the Giants will still go for quarterback, or that's for next year's plans?
If they're going to go quarterback this late, they might as well do a developmental like in round 4 or round 5. Who do you have left? You have Spencer Rattler. You have the
Michael Pratt.
Michael Pratt and the kids from Florida State.
Jordan Travis,
who I like, by the way. He's going to sit anyway. You have to develop him. Just take a late round flyer. Though, if you want to get serious for quarterback next year, if Jones doesn't work out, then next year we're going to have to give up a whole draft to get in position to get one. Because one thing I do like that we're doing, we're rounding out the rest of the roster. We're filling all the holes. How many holes do we have coming into this offseason? Offensive line, you got your guard. You signed your tackle in free agency. You got Brian Burns in the edge rusher. Then you selected your wide receiver. Now you have a safety. You'll probably get a corner. So if you look where our roster was 2 years ago and to where it is now, it's drastically different. And I don't think we're as far away as people think, but we're only going to go as far as Daniel Jones takes us, even if the rest of the roster is finished.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And listen, this roster, we've said it for years, like this roster was lacking talent, elite talent. And
yes,
I think
everywhere.
right. And I think in 2 picks in this draft, whether you agree with the need or anything, what you can't argue is the talent. Like, and Newman brings talent, Neighbors bring talent, and they're better than what we have potentially on the roster. Well, I mean, Neighbors for sure. Newman, I think, can be better than what we have there too, which is going to make everybody else better. Right. So, and if you got if you got a coordinator who likes a lot of 3 safety looks, you need talent there. So I think again, let's just make this pick go. I mean,
do you see us possibly taking an edge rusher in the next round?
Ooh,
Washington took the tight end out of Kansas State.
Ben Sinnott. Oh, he was good.
Yeah,
I liked him as well. Man, they're getting talented quickly.
Washington had a good draft, didn't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing too. Okay, that I'll say too is Shane learned under Parcells, right? Parcells was a guy who always preached about you build your roster based on the division. You got to win the division. So I've said this before. In our division, the top teams have what is their strengths? Offense, right? Like Cowboy. So you've got to shore up that defense to shut down the offense without suffering our offense suffering, right? So
100%.
you've gotten a guy who can now with Neighbors can go, right? He's a weapon. And then now you got a guy who shores up the defense along with Burns. And again, I don't think Jalen Mills was a bad pickup. I think he's going to do well for whatever people are forgetting about him that we signed him. And I think he's going to do well, right? So I think it'll be interesting. But I do think tight end the third round, but with Travis Jordan, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being an undrafted free agent because of that injury, how gruesome it was. And I think he could be decent, right?
Yep.
So maybe that is a route they think about there.
Could be.
Yeah.
They did it last year, right? They picked up a UDF in Tommy DeVito.
They did. And Rudolph and or Jordan, in my opinion, is definitely better than DeVito was last year. So if not for that injury, he's probably, another decent guy. I'm surprised. I'll be interested to see, they had Rattler in for a top 30. So I'll be interested to see if they take him in the third round. I don't know. Maybe they're done. We're quarterback.
I can't believe that we're going to go through this whole draft and possibly not even get a quarterback. It's just like, you have Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, and Tommy DeVito. It's not exactly the pillar of stability there in our quarterback room, but, it is what it is. So 2 years ago, Jones did well. It's not his talent that really bothers me. It's that he's so injury prone. But maybe if he doesn't get hit every 3 dropbacks, maybe he'll survive a whole season.
Well, yeah. Here's what I'll say about Jones. I've defended Jones, but not because more because of the hatred that the dude got, right? But I will say this: when he's looked good against bad teams, he's looked good against bad teams because he's had time to throw the ball, right? So maybe there's something to that. If you can give him time against better teams, maybe he can do something there too. I'm not putting my faith in it, but it's what we have at this point.
Exactly. You have no choice. This is what it is.
That's right.
And maybe the coaching staff sees something in Locke because, again, he's another tall quarterback that Daboll likes. He's 6'4", So maybe
I think Greg likes Drew Lock, doesn't he?
Craig? Yeah, he loves Drew Lock.
Yeah, I don't think Craig likes Drew Lock.
He says his name a lot. He loves Drew Lock. He absolutely loves Drew Lock.
Well, you're going to see plenty of them in the preseason. I'll tell you that.
Listen, no, it's crazy. I thought there was no way they don't take a quarterback in this draft somewhere.
I agree. Yeah.
But it's looking that way. It's absolutely looking that way. Any questions you want to ask for me in truth there, Joey? Here's your chance. It's on the spot.
All right. Well, best case scenario for next season and worst case scenario, even though I know what the worst case scenario is. What do you think with this roster the way it is right now constructed? What do you think is our highest ceiling that we could go?
Go ahead, Truth.
I think the highest ceiling we can go, barring no injuries now, would be a weaker schedule we're going to have. So I'm going to say 8 wins. 8 wins.
8 wins?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm not going to give a win prediction yet.
Oh, man. Come on.
But no, here's what I'm going to say. Barring injuries, I think we could win at least a first-round playoff game.
So you're talking 9 wins at least.
Yeah, I get right. If 9 win gets you in, whatever gets you in. I mean, listen, you've seen crazier things. 8-win teams have gotten into the playoffs, but I think we can win at least at first. And the reason I say that is when you look at last year, and I'll take heat for this, but it's okay. They won 6 games with that disaster of a roster with the injuries.
Yeah.
They won 6 games with Wink Martindale trying to sabotage from within, right? They won 3 games with an undrafted free agent quarterback where they made look serviceable. If they have a kicker against the Jets and the Rams, they win those 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of ifs.
Well, listen, but that's what happens, right?
Yeah. Well, in 2022, the same thing happened. If the ball didn't bounce our way, the same record, 6 wins.
Yeah.
Our season last season came down to 3 plays, and those 3 plays were the difference of us not making the playoffs. The last game against Buffalo that I was at, I was cold and miserable. That Waller dropped the 2-point conversion, the collapse against the Jets, and when the kicker missed the field goal against the Rams. If we won those 3 games, we're sitting at 9-7 again, and right in the cusp of a playoff thing. So, yeah, and at the end of the year, we were competing against a Rams team that, was the hottest team in the NFL. We went toe-to-toe with them with the weak offense that we had, and we beat the ever-living shit out of the Eagles in the finale. And I don't care what anyone says, that they were playing for something, a thing that we haven't done in years. So the arrow is pointing up. So I think around nine wins, I would put them to the same thing, depending on how Jones plays, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna put Craig up here again because he's still on his thing, but this is fun. We're gonna have some fun with Craig because I don't know when I'm gonna be able to host again, so I'm gonna take advantage of this. Right? Call me the Joker for no reason. So this is Craig's point here. So he said Eagles got their guy. Washington pulls the best tight end in the draft next to Bowers, and we got a safety. Well, we didn't have the draft capital to move up, and we don't know that Tyler Nubin wasn't their guy.
That's right. And you're really going to sacrifice like 2 or 3 picks to move up, a couple of spots. They took the best safety in the draft and in round 2. That's how it worked out.
Yeah.
So if the gig ends up being like a Xavier McKinney, are you really going to complain?
You got to be open-minded. You got to be open-minded. Sometimes the board doesn't go exactly where you want, so then you got to go BPA. You have to do it.
Exactly right.
And truth, you nail it, man. They only have 6 picks, so you can't. Unless you give up a future pick, it's hard to move up. You need all those picks.
Yeah.
It's like, well, 2 things I'll say. Number one, I would have liked for them to trade up and get Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah.
Right? He was there. They could have done that. But again, it's like when the Giants got Eli and they made that trades that next year, right? They had 4 picks and they nailed all 4 of their picks.
All 4. Yeah.
So they got 6 picks. Nail it with 6 elite players. So
right.
I do believe in BPA, and need wasn't. I mean, safety was a need. Cornerback is, but so is safety, right? Like, you got young guys. Like, we love Dan Belton is a fan of the show. We love Dan Belton, right? But we don't know, and you still need a third safety. So
exactly,
right. So I'm open minded. Like when I get mad, it's during the season.
Yeah.
When they lose games, right? Like, man.
If you don't have optimism this time of year, then we don't stand a chance. So I'm happy with it all.
If you're on Twitter, you'll see there's not a lot of optimism.
No, definitely not. Not after last night.
We already got people saying that Malik Neighbors wasn't happy he was drafted by the Giants. So,
Well, all right. People can say what they want.
Right. But so, well, Joey, man, we appreciate you coming on and being part of it, the support of the Rush team, and man, awesome job tonight. So
thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Joey.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great night. Take care.
See ya.
Awesome. Listen, all the guests we've had on Truth have been awesome. Like, knowledgeable and stuff. Like, they really get it. Like, they're all positive, man. Like, I love that. I absolutely love that. So
yeah.
I
listen. I think it's a good draft for the Giants. Look, could I have wanted a guy in a trench? Yeah, of course I would have. But you got to trust Joe Schoen. You got to trust he knows more than we do. He sees the board. We don't see the board. We don't know. So that's why we pay him.
Listen, my phone's blowing up with people talking about the thing and this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, I'll say this, man. Like, I'll never be disappointed with BPA. I get more upset if somebody reaches for somebody, right? Like, you can't reach for a position. All the top cornerbacks were off the board, right?
They were.
Who, other than, I know I mentioned Johnny Dixon, but Johnny Dixon, I don't know that he's better than Tyler Nubin, right?
I don't think he is, but that's just a preference. Maybe you do. That's fine.
No, but, I mean, listen, the top corners, they were all gone. So the only thing you could be upset about is if the fact that they didn't trade up to get a Cooper DeJean or a Kool-Aid McKinstry, right? Like, okay, I can get that. I can understand that. But you don't have the draft capital to do it. Are you going to give up a future I mean, let's put it out there for the guys that want it. Craig, if you're still listening, like, are you going to give up a future draft pick from next year to go up and get a Cooper DeJean or a Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Right. Like, and again, who's the lineman you're taking there? Because BB's off the board, right? Or did
No, he's still on the board.
But again, is he better than a Tyler Newman?
Well, look, it depends what you're looking for. Now, I get what you're saying. The Giants already went and got linemen in free agency.
Yeah.
I get that. They lost a very key player, McKinney, to free agency. I'm not upset with the pick, even though I would have liked to have a guard there. But I'm not upset with that pick. I think he's a great ball player.
Yeah.
I really do.
Right. So that's kind of my point. Like, if they took somebody else and wasn't a great player, but it filled a need, I don't know if I'm happy with that pick. Like,
Right.
I love BB, don't get me wrong, but when they did everything they did in free agency, to me, a lineman in the second round didn't make sense for me there.
All right, that's fine.
That's me. I don't know if anybody else in the comments feels that way, but you upgraded, and yes, I believe there's competition now, because I think Brasillo is going to make other players better. Positions won't get handed to them. Other than you signed two big guys in free agency, I mean, they should be able to start because they're good, right? And then you signed some other guys that were backups and whatever. They should push the guy. To me, we got better on the offensive line. We've upgraded depth-wise as well, right? Like, so if Runyon starts, Illuminar starts, the guys behind them are now better than what they had before. So I
Right,
think
because now they're playing backup roles. Yeah.
right. And Mark Thompson brings up a great point here, and we know the name. I mean, if we can get a TJ Tampa in round 3, there you go, right?
Yeah, if he makes it to round 3, that'll be pretty incredible.
I mean, listen, we're not far off from round 3 right now.
We're not 14 more picks. 14 more picks.
Yes, yeah. Well, no, less than that. Less than that. We got
No,
3, 6.
Dallas is at 56 picking right now.
Yeah. So, but I'm just looking at the board. So right now, unless Giants trade or something, because right now there's 8 more picks left in the second round, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more picks before the Giants pick in round 3. So
Right,
13 picks. Yeah. So he could go there.
There's another guy who was talking about. Oh, he just got picked.
Who? Don't say TJ.
Marshawn Nealon. I was just going to say him.
Oh, okay.
Dallas got him.
Okay. I mean, you also have, so here's another guy. You got Nehemiah Pritchett out of Auburn. He's projected in the 2nd to 4th round. So you still got some guys you can get in the 3rd round
And 4th round.
and 4th round that can be good.
I told you. I like that kid out of Boston College. I think he's a good player.
Right.
So,
and again, they must see something we don't with who they have on their roster at corner. And maybe because they went corner 1st round last year, they didn't want to invest in corner 2nd round this year.
maybe. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not a fly on the wall in that war room. We have no clue what they're talking about.
Right.
Yep.
So maybe they go O-line in the 3rd round.
Right. They
What
can
do we
go
do?
any direction, right? You talked about tight end. They could go tight end. They can go defensive line. They can go right. They can go offensive line. Who knows?
I think for me in the 3rd round, it's got to be corner or it's got to be something offensive.
Who do you like at 3rd round if TJ Tampa's taken? What other cornerback you think you like him in round 3?
I mean, I think Pritchett could be there. I don't know. I mean, Josh Newton out of TCU could be another possibility in the 3rd round. And you still have Andrew Phillips out of Kentucky, who they had. And
so
did Kyrie Jackson go yet?
Okay. Who?
Kyrie Jackson out of Oregon?
No, he's got nice length too. By the way, 6'4".
There's
got good
another
length.
There's another. So listen, if you can get a Kyrie Jackson in the third round, if you can get a Johnny Newton out of TCU in the third round, if you can get an Andrew Phillips or Josh Newton, sorry, out of TCU, if you can get an Andrew Phillips out of Kentucky in the third round, I mean, we're good, right? Like,
So using your logic, so you're playing Joe Shane. His thinking is that he feels there's more depth in the quarterback position to wait another round. Let me go get that safety now.
Yes, I do think that, and I think that he is. If you listen to his press conference, his draft press conference, I think it was last week, he said repeatedly, "I'm going to let the board talk to me." So what he realizes is he is doing the process of, I'm going to draft as if we're a good team, not a team with a lot of needs. I'm going to make this team better. I'm going to get talent. So I'm going to take the BPA approach, not the need approach. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't, right? Because again, safety was a need. I don't view, me personally, I don't view interior O-line as a big of a need as it once was, right? If you can get a corner in the third round and a Tyler Nubin drops to you, that's like when we talked about truth. If Marvin Harrison dropped to you at 6, or you had an opportunity to draft a quarterback, you run to the podium for Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Even though we know we need a quarterback.
Yeah, but do you think the separation is that much when you're using a cornerback and an O-line in round 3?
I think you're talking about separation with like talent or what?
Talent, yeah, talent level. Because that would be a hard one. If round 3 comes around and Cooper Beebe sitting there in round 3, possibly, and who did you say? Andrew Phillips? That's a tough one for me. I know I got guys I signed in free agency. That's a tough one. That guy could be a starting guard for the next decade or two or more. That's a tough one for me.
But you just signed 2 guards in free agency. You signed John Runyon and you signed Illuminor.
Well, Illuminor could end up being your right tackle if Evan Neal fails, and there's no guarantee Evan Neal could be your right guard. That transitioning.
I mean, that's a lot of ifs there too, right? Like,
yeah, true.
Right.
Yep.
And listen, and everybody knows, I've preached about the O-line. I know that O-line needs to get better. I personally feel it has gotten better. Again, the guys we got are a big upgrade, in my opinion, to who we had on the roster.
Oh, absolutely.
And you brought in a proven coach who has the track record of success coaching O-line. Like, I don't know how you can't be somewhat happy with who we brought in free agency.
No, I am happy with who we got.
And I don't mean you personally. I'm saying you generally, Drew.
Oh.
So, yeah. But again, like, look at this. And I just saw something in my phone. Look at our draft right now, right? Because we had 2 second-round picks. So our draft has been Malik Neighbors, Brian Burns, and Tyler Nubin.
It's a good draft.
Right? In the comments, would you guys agree with that? You got Malik Neighbors, Brian Burns, and Tyler Nubin. Do you think that's a good draft? If you look at it that way? Because that second-round pick, right? That's your draft. Brian Burns was better than anybody that was on the board in the second round, right?
That's true.
So I forgot about that. So I got some smart friends on my phone. Is that? Oh yeah, the other. Yeah.
Edge off the board, Chris Braswell,
Okay.
Alabama.
And Cole brought up another good point. They signed Aaron Stinney from Tampa Bay, which is another good.
They did 1-year deal though.
Yeah, well, okay. He was a good guard in Tampa. I got living in Tampa. I talked to my Tampa friends.
Yeah,
he was a good guard. He was definitely a good guard. So I agree. We lack talent at the skill positions, in my opinion. We don't have elite talent at the skills positions.
Well,
So
we just added one wide receiver like it.
Yep.
and we got the safety now.
Yep. And we with Burns, we now have two guys at the edge positions, right? Corner, we have Banks, so we have one there.
So you talk about skill, then we got 4 picks left. You got to think 2 and 2 offense, 2 defense coming up. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking corner in the third and offense the rest of the draft. That's what I'm thinking.
So who are you thinking of the? I don't want to go way ahead of ourselves. So you're thinking a corner.
Yeah.
I know you keep talking about tight end.
Yeah.
And you keep mentioning running back.
Yep.
And then what's the third offensive player?
There's probably an O-lineman in there somewhere later in the draft.
Okay. Would it be an interior or an outside guy who can play a swing tackle kind of player?
Maybe interior, because I think they signed a couple of swing guys. But look at it this way too. Look at how much they've invested in the 2 years in the O-line in the draft. Neal, Schmitz, Zudu, McKeithen, like those guys got to develop. You drafted those guys, you got to develop them, and that's why I think they brought Priscilla in to develop those guys. So it's not like they haven't drafted O-line and the thing. And here's what a lot of people forget. Zudu and McKeithen both played at North Carolina at the same time. They both were responsible for guys that ran for 1,000 yards while they were there. Right?
Yeah.
So, to me, those guys' development, the injury was the issue, and Bobby Johnson was the issue. Because everybody was excited about Zudu and what he did his rookie year, right? He was alternating with, was it Bredesen he was alternating with?
Yeah.
Early in the season. And Rizzuto outplayed Bredesen, but then this year they move him to tackle and expect him to do things. So it's just crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. So I know we got our next guest coming in. We got R0 coming in, so we're gonna bring him on. And
okay, yeah, we got 11 more picks to go.
Huh?
We're getting close.
We are. So let's bring R0 on here. Bring him on.
What's going
What's
on,
up,
fellas?
man? How we doing?
What's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks.
Yeah,
Hey, there he is. What's going on?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Just trying to get my voice back. Got over COVID about a week
Oh,
ago.
shit.
So so I'm just trying to get my voice back and everything like that, and trying to enjoy this draft. It looks like we just made a good pickup for a safety. So happy about that. Tyler Nubin looks like a good player. A lot of turnovers over the last 3 years at Minnesota. So I'm happy to add him, to the defensive back room and to this defense and see what he's able to do this year. So,
were you looking for a particular position in round 2 before the second round started?
I was kind of open. I thought maybe they were going to kind of screw around and take Spencer Rattler or something like that, potentially, knowing the Giants. But, if they were going to pick a player, hoping that it was going to be a good impact player, really wanted Kool-Aid. Hopefully, I was hoping that he was going to drop, but the Saints ended up, taking him. There was a lot of trades, when the second round started.
Yeah.
So, Washington, what are you doing, man? Letting Philadelphia go up there, getting Cooper DeJean. Like,
You were talking about that. What are they doing?
I don't know, man.
That was like Philly and Dallas, a couple years ago, right? Like,
Yep,
what-
yeah. So,
That's crazy.
but if they go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, if they were going to get, hopefully they got a good player. If not, I would have actually liked them to trade back, maybe acquire some more picks, and stuff like that, and see what they were able to do. Because it's, pick till 70, so it's a lot of rounds, a lot of picks, going by, before you got to pick again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the neighbors pick?
I don't hate the player. I'm not I just didn't like the pick. I'm of the belief. I'm of the belief is you don't buy the gasoline before you own the car. And right now, Truth and NYG, we've gone at it on Twitter before, and stuff like that. I supported Daniel Jones at one point. I just don't believe that we've got the answer there at quarterback. And, you got a couple of guys there in JJ and Michael Penix. If you want to throw Bo Nix in there, fine. I'm of the belief is you gotta take a swing at the most important position on the field rather than a wide receiver. When you look at the draft thus far, you had a lot of receivers that dropped in this draft that you could have gone back up. Maybe you take JJ, maybe they orchestrate that trade to move up to 32 to get a guy like Xavier Legette, over the Carolina Panthers, right? So, I'm of the belief you just got to keep taking your swing until you find out that you got that guy. And then to hear the offer that they made to the Patriots, to me, that doesn't even seem like an offer of a team that's like that. That's to me, that doesn't come off as a conviction offer. You offer this year's first, a 3rd round pick, and next year's first to move up to 3. That just doesn't seem to get a guy like Drake May, who's arguably you could say is the 2nd best quarterback in this draft. Over Jaden Daniels. At least I have him over Jaden Daniels. That didn't seem very convincing to me or very, conviction. So, but look, I think Neighbors is going to be a great player. I think he's got, when you listen to him, he's got that dog mentality in him. He's got a mentality that, I like players like that. I liked what Odell was, even though some fans didn't like him, didn't like his antics or the passion that he had. From LSU, man, they like to win. They want to win. They come with a drive. And, he's going to have that same type of mentality, on the sideline. And if there were people that didn't like Odell Beckham's antics and how he was passionate, you ain't going to like Malik Neighbors. So, we definitely got a good player. Just wish we would have taken a shot at a quarterback. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I get that. Here's the thing that I would say, and I know, listen, Odell with Neighbors are going to come up a lot. I don't think he's the same player at all. I don't even think his antics are the same. And I was a huge Odell fan. But I would say this. When you look at Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson produced with Josh Dobbs and whoever their other quarterback was, the 3rd-string quarterback, right? Jamar Chase produced and made Jake Browning get a 2nd contract with the Bengals, right? So to me, Neighbors is that guy that he's a difference maker. Like he is that guy that I believe can elevate a quarterback. I know people say the quarterback elevates the wide receiver. I believe there are certain wide receivers that can make quarterbacks be better. And to me, Neighbors and Dunzair Harrison, those are those guys that can make quarterbacks better. So I don't think reaching there, like I get your point. I hear it, get the quarterback, do all that. I like Shane's approach. If he's taking BPA right now, he's not reaching because of a need. That's just kind of my take. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, look, that's a valid pick. That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
Yeah. So who do you think? All right, 3rd round coming up. Who do you not necessarily a player, but position that you think Giants may go in the next 2 rounds here?
It's kind of open. I think depending on the running backs that are available at 70, Trey Benson is a guy that I would look at. Blake Corum is a guy I would look at. If you're not going to go there are some guys that I like that you can probably get later. I like IG. I like Brandon Allen. I like him. I'm also a Frank Gore Jr. fan. So, I like those. I like those guys. If you're not going to go running back, man, I don't know. They could go all line, even though I think that's kind of high. And with what you've got right now in the O-line, I don't see why going offensive line that high. If you want to say like in like the 5th round or something like that, maybe you take a swing on a guy like Zach Zinter, even though he's going to be out, you put him as a red shirt this year. That I can understand.
Yep.
But if you're going to go with somebody as high as 70, you got you got to sign to Luminor. He can play guard or tackle. Presumably, if he's playing tackle, Neal is going to bounce in. You sign, John Runyon. You've got JMS. You got your left tackle, and you still have, Josh Azudu and McKeithen that you drafted 2 years ago. So I'd like running back. They could go defense more. Maybe like another guy I would like is like a Brandon Dorlus from Oregon if he's there.
Yeah, he's still on the board.
He's still on the board. Would like a Brandon Dorlus. Bring him in. I think he would be, go 3 for 3 for Oregon defensive line picks or defensive players. They took Kayvon, then they took Jordan Riley. Now take Brandon Dorlus. So those would probably be the 2 positions I look at: defensive line and running back at 70, based on who's available.
I think either one would be a good pick. Either one would be fine. Fine with
For
me.
sure. For sure. I would say if Benson's gone at 70, then I would look Brandon Dorless if he's there. If Dorless is gone, then and Trey Benson's there, I would go with Trey Benson. And then I think you also got the guy from Texas, I think. Or is it Tennessee? I can't think of his name right now. The other running back.
Oh, right.
Right out of Tennessee.
Yeah, right out of Tennessee. So he's still, I think, available as well. So it's another good player.
Yeah, I like to mention Zinter because I've said him a few times and I forgot about mentioning him tonight. Yeah, that guy is a beast. So if you can get him like later on, 6th, 7th round or what, wherever their last pick is, I think he'll be there because of that injury. But that guy's a beast.
Yeah.
You guys know the status of how he's rehabbing? Any news?
Well, from what I've seen, I don't know if he's different.
Yeah, he's doing well. I think I believe he's in the weight room, so he's able to do that. I don't think. Look, I don't know if they'll take him or not. I don't think that the injury should shy away. They dealt with this injury before with Nick Gates, so they know the process. They had a guy in their building that they brought back that went through that, so they're familiar with it. Their doctors and their training staff are familiar with it, so they know how to handle it. And you redshirt him. Yeah, maybe you're wasting a pick, but this guy could potentially look if he. From a lot of guys, and shout out to my guys Monty and Sal, they do a great job. But he's a giant. If he was never injured, the guy's probably a 1st round, 2nd round pick. This year he's very, very good. So, if you can get him in the 5th or 6th round. Redshirt him, let him sit, let him rehab. And then at that point, now you're going to know a year later where your offensive line is. You're going to know where Neal is at. You're going to know what you need to do. And that may be a position that you don't need to address early next year, if Zach Zinter is taken. So.
Yeah. I think, when you look at it, and by the way, Detroit went with Rack the Straw, and then the Bills went with Cole Bishop, which is a nice pickup there. Yeah. I know people were saying, hey, Giants could have got him in the 3rd round, but he just went 2nd round. So I think another guy, you kind of look at there is who gets overlooked that they signed, and I said this earlier, is Jalen Mills. Like, we don't know what Jalen Mills can be. Like, they may look at him as CB2. Like, for all we know, right? Like, he's still a fairly young player that has done some good things here and knows the system, right? He came from the Patriots. He understands Bowen's system because it's similar. So again, for all we know, they could be looking at him and like, hey, there's our QB2. They could be thinking Cordell Flott is the CB2 on the outside now, right? Like, he's still young. He's 20. He'll be 22 this season, I believe, and that's a guy I like. I was high on him when they drafted him. He just, again, maybe he didn't fit in wing system with the man and play in the slot. So I don't know. And again, if there's still guys, you still got some good guys in the 3rd round that can go, right? Like,
another guy too. He's still on the board if he's there. Peyton Wilson, the linebacker. If he's still available, that's another guy you could potentially look at. I know people like Micah McFadden, and Micah he had a good year last year, but Peyton Wilson, he's a good versatile linebacker, very, very good in coverage. Was getting some comparisons to like Luke Kuechly during like the Senior Bowl time and stuff like that, saying he's a very comparable player to him. I think he's dropping due to some type of injury or something like that or whatnot. Is the reason why he's dropping. But Flott, going back to your Flott take, and I'll be honest, I forgot about Jalen Mills. They could very easily, we were in a space earlier today, and somebody came up and brought up an interesting thing. And the thing to keep an eye on is Darius Slayton. That's a guy that they could potentially move, maybe acquire a draft pick for, free up some money. And he was saying maybe bringing a Dory Jackson back. That's a possibility. But with Jalen Mills there, look, he played corner, he played safety. I think Tyler Nubin and Jason Pinnock are going to be probably your 2 starting safeties going into the season. Though Nubin is a starter, and who takes that nickel? I think Sal always points out, and shout out to him again, with this new defense and Shane Bowen, he likes to run a lot of zone. Darnay Holmes plays better in a zone type of style of defense than more of a man defense. So maybe he works his way back into the starting role playing. And Darnay Holmes is good against the run too. He makes tackles. he goes up there and he can make some plays. But do they play Jalen Mills on the outside? Flott looked pretty decent when he was put on the outside, looked comfortable, right? He's a young player. You got to give him the opportunity. This is his year to shine, to show what he's capable of. You took him in the top 100. He's got to go out there and prove his worth. This is his opportunity this year. So we'll see what happens.
And again, Bowen plays a lot of 3 safeties. So your safeties are going to be Newbin, Pinnock, and Dane Belton, right? That's a pretty
or
good.
Mills if they
Right,
they want to do it.
That's pretty good in my opinion. And you have to have a strong defense in this division. You got to shut down Philly. You got to shut down Dallas, who have tons of weapons. So
Yeah.
they're building this roster based on who the teams are in their divisions. So
Yeah.
Mark, let me put this up. Mark said that Mills moved to safety because he lost his speed. Would be surprised if he goes back to corner. So yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe no. But again, they might like Flott. I mean, again, they was one of their picks. LSU's not only producing receivers, they're producing DBs, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. I think their approach this year, honestly, if I had to take a guess, I think the offense is still uncertain, right? It's still a question mark. And I think that their thought process is we may not be able to put up the points offensively with the Cowboys, with the Eagles. Can we slow them down defensively? And can we get after them? And I love the Brian Burns edition. I know some people are saying, not Giants fans, but some people in Carolina were saying that he still had more to prove, that it was kind of an overpay for, maybe somebody that, still has more to prove. Dude, I love it. When you look at Brian Burns when he was in Carolina, really didn't have that other guy opposite of him. He had Hassan Reddick for 1 year that had a double-digit sacks. He was mainly doing it himself. Derek Brown is nowhere near the caliber type of interior lineman that Dexter Lawrence is. And now you pair him with a good young pass rusher in Kayvon Thibodeau. I think they're going to complement each other well. Now you got Azeez Ojulari coming in off of rotation. You're not leaning on him to be a starter. He can just come in, rotate, be a spell guy. The guy they traded for last year, Boogie Basham, he can come in, kind of be a rotational piece. So now you got to I do think they need to address that interior defensive line a little bit more. Love a Brandon Dorless. Really think that he would do well on the D-line. You got Jordan Riley coming back. DJ Davidson got some good reps last year. He can plug up the middle part there. So we'll see what happens. But I think their plan is to be physical, to get after the quarterbacks next year, to try to slow down those offenses and kind of maybe play it like the Steelers back in the day, maybe, where you don't have to really score a lot of points because you're holding them down, and hopefully it works. So, but who knows? I think we've been averaging about 18 points the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe Neighbors comes in and gets us to 21, 22 points. Maybe he's just that much of an impactful player, which I think he can be. But it's funny. Art Stapleton hosted a space before the draft started, and this may be the case. He said that they brought in Drew Lock for a reason. And if the offense starts to struggle and Daniel Jones is starting, say he's healthy to start the year, and the offense is just struggling to put it up, that they won't hesitate to make a change and go to Drew Lock. And I think Drew Lock gives you that down the field type of passing attack that Daniel doesn't provide right now, whether it's because
he's afraid.
He's afraid to, right? So you got a guy like Hyatt, you got to hit him down the field. Like a guy like Hyatt, he's a burner. You got to hit him down the field. Wando Robinson, he can eat up underneath and over the middle as well. He's a good versatile player. Now you got a guy like Malik Neighbors that you can put everywhere, right? So, we'll see what happens, but they got to try to get explosive and creative offensively. And I think Wandell's going to have a big year. I'm excited to see Wandell Robinson. I'm excited for him.
I agree. And here's the thing too. You got guys that can go over the top, but you also have to have a line that can give a little more time to let those deep routes develop. I do agree with that. And going back to like Burns, what's nice about Burns is he's young. So now you've built him for the future at a premium position.
Yep.
So you give up a second rounder when, remember, there were guys. There was a team. I forget who the team was. They offered 2 first-round picks and a number of picks.
The
for
Rams. The
Yeah,
Rams did.
and Carolina turned him down. So now you got him for a 2nd-round pick. Like how?
And a 6th-round pick, yeah.
Yeah, like how can you not love what that was done there? And again, edge is a premium position that you got to get after the passer, right?
Yeah.
Offensively, a guy that's getting overlooked, and I'm not sure why, but Devin Singletary I think is going to surprise some people. Like he really did well in Houston. Their line was decent. It was like middle of the pack when it comes to NFL rankings, and he produced. And he didn't start like he put up numbers, and he didn't start like the first 3 or 4 games. So that's another guy I think is going to put up points on the offense. And now again, you have a Malik Neighbors. He's going to this offense is less predictable now. It's not built around Saquon. The defensive coordinator is going to be like, all right, if we shut down Saquon, that's it, right? It's unpredictable now. So I like it. Listen, they got to produce the results, but I don't know how you can look at this offseason, even this draft, and not be like, man, we got better. We got more talent. Like there's more talent on this roster now.
Well, look, if they passed on the quarterback, right, the biggest thing that they need to do is just upgrade the roster. You know, they need to get better players on the roster. To your point about Devin Singletary, I like Devin Singletary. I think he's a good, well-rounded running back. I think a big reason why he had and was able to produce the way he did in Houston was because of C.J. Stroud being able to throw the football. It took a lot of pressure on him, right? Going into this year, if he's healthy, you know, this is going to be all on Daniel, right? The functionality of this offense is going to be on him because now you don't have a guy in the backfield that's going to be giving you a lot of 8-man boxes, 9-man boxes, right? They're going to go after him to sack him and make him think very quick on his feet. And you're going to have to. This is where you got to try to dissect the defense and you got to try to fool people, right? You got to try to look somebody off, find somebody open and hit them and throw with anticipation. You got to hit a guy like Neighbors with anticipation or Wan'Dale Robinson in stride. And I think that Tommy was able to do that in the small little package that he was able to put together last year. Tyrod was able to do that. So I agree. They need to get more explosive. I think that, I agree with what some people are saying that the Neighbors pick is not for Daniel. It's for the offense. It's for the team. And I understand that. And I'm not saying that that's not valid, right? That is valid. So we'll see what happens.
He's going to be 21 when the season starts. So
he's 21 in July. 21 in July. So
for 10 years, that's right. It's not a Jones pick. It's a Giants pick.
Quick question: Is Dable calling plays in your mind, or should he call the plays?
I think, if I'm being honest, and I felt like this way probably regardless whether they took a quarterback or not, I think he should. I think that he needs to, and this is not a knock. This is not a knock on Kafka. I think going into this year, there is going to be pressure on Brian Dable to produce with this football team. And if I'm the head coach, if my job is on the line, which I believe that his job is on the line this year, going into this year, I don't want that in anybody else's hands but my own. And so, I think that he should call the plays. And try to make the best of it and try to get explosive. But it's really going to be defined on how the offense looks realistically, because if the defense is going out there, and the defense for the most part of last year played well, the offense just couldn't go out there and put up points. And if it's something similar to that, he's going to have to make a change, and you can't change yourself. You can't change you. So it'll be a quarterback change, right? Maybe you see Drew Lock come in. Maybe it's Tommy DeVito, or something like that, right? You'll have to make a change. And then at the end of the year, you better hope that whoever comes in gets the most out of your offense and what you're trying to implement. Gets the most out of Neighbors. gets the most out of Hyatt, gets the most out of Wandell Robinson, opens up your offense to the point where now you could say, look, we need to get a quarterback here. This is what I need to do. Like, we need to get somebody that is a real franchise quarterback. And they'll have to either dip into the draft next year to do that or address it in free agency. Maybe a Kirk Cousins, which that was a wild pick by Atlanta last night.
Yeah.
Not taking the player, not the player itself, but just the pick. You just gave Kurt $180 million, $100 million guaranteed, and you took a quarterback at 8. So, maybe Kirk Cousins is going to look to get out of Atlanta after 1 year, and you do something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, you can look at free agency for sure. Well, R0, man, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate the support, and
get better too, man.
Thank you.
We got one more pick, so we appreciate you, man, and go Giants.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Right. Take care.
All right, Truth, we're getting to the end here a little bit. We got the Giants.
I know.
And then that's it, man. Time flew, right? Like this.
Hey, what's that old saying? Time flies when you're having fun?
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun. And listen, I think I said this to you before off air, but I got a lot to say, so there wasn't going to be no dead time.
Where are we right now? 65 right now. Jets are.
Yeah, we're 4 picks away, man. 4 picks away. So we'll see here, man. What's your prediction, Truth? I'm not going to ask player right now, but what position you think they're going here at this pick, at pick 70?
I think, look, I'm a believer as you are in BPA as well. I haven't seen players that are still on the board. I'm trying to look for that. They're not showing me.
Yeah,
I'm only going off memory just by who the ticker's showing has been picked so far. Yeah. So I want to go. Oh boy, this is a tough one. I mean, if you get a really good running back right now, I have no problem with it. Because I like Trey Benson. I like that kid. I think he could catch the ball. He can run the ball. He can run between the tackles. He can run on the edge. He can do everything. If he's still there, I mean, that's a tempting. You said you want weapons there. That's a tempting right there to get a guy like that.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm trying to see who's left on the board.
I think corner is going to be in this round because you got guys that, again, you have an Andrew Phillips out of Kentucky who they have.
Yeah. TJ Tampa, you said, was going to be there.
Is Tampa there or did he? Okay.
I don't think I saw him get picked. If I missed it, I missed it. I've been trying to look.
I don't know if he. Again, I know he's a name that keeps coming up and people talked about him, but I mean, it's not bad in the 3rd round. I wouldn't mind an Andrew Phillips there in the 3rd round. I wouldn't mind a Kyrie Jackson in the 3rd round either.
Kyrie Jackson's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
So
I just think they got to get some offense. They still need some offense, though. That's what I'm worried about.
I know. I mean, I said it needed to be offensive heavy, but man, the way it's going, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe they go.
It will be. This is going to be interesting.
Maybe they go tight in the 3rd round. Who knows?
You want Theo Johnson, boy. I can tell you.
No, I want Sanders out of Texas because he has not gone yet. Right, he's still on the board, and I don't know why he's still on the board. There's only been 2 tight ends that have gone, and I don't.
That guy, yeah.
I'm surprised that Bowers and Sanat were the top 2 that went. So I don't know how.
Maybe there's a reason why he's still on the board that we don't know about.
Out of Western Kentucky.
Who's that?
The Jet, Malachi Corley.
Yeah, I like him. I like him.
A bad pick.
If we didn't have a Wandell Robinson, I would take him.
Yeah.
And put him in a slot.
I have to look. Where did Troy Franklin go? Did anybody take him yet?
I don't remember seeing Franklin. If someone knows, if someone's still on, is still on with us, and they know,
I can look it up, but I missed it. We got engrossed in conversations there. We went.
yeah, he was giving some good insight though.
Oh yeah, he was. No, I don't mean just him. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's been drafted yet. That's surprising.
I'm trying to do my article while we're talking to get it out there quick.
Multitasker over there. See, that's the sign of a good host right there. I'm hearing the show so you can do over there. See that, Craig? You hear that, Craig?
Oh, here it is. Look at Mark. Let's see. That's what I like, Mark. Still on the board, Haynes, Tampa, Phillips, good running back. So BB was taken already. Okay. What do you guys think about Brendan Rice? I like him. I think you said you like him too, right?
I do, but I mean, we asked that last year or earlier on about do you double dip with wide receiver?
Oh, Benson got taken by the Cardinals.
Yeah, okay, that's all right.
All right, so it makes it less tougher, the tougher decision a little easier now.
Yeah, I mean we're close. We're Washington again. So we're 3 picks away.
Washington had a good draft. I hate to say it.
We got to close the show with a good pick. I'm telling you right now, the 3rd round pick is going to be a good pick. And
well, there's a lot of talent still on the board.
I know. So that's what you want. And we talked about this, Truth. How many times we talked about on the draft show that talent was going to drop because of quarterbacks and wide receivers, right?
Yeah, and linemen, right? Tackles.
Yeah.
So are you leaning towards the tight end, the kid Sanders? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Listen, I'm leaning cornerback or tight end. I mean, I want to go offense just because I think we need another weapon, but I would not be disappointed if they took a cornerback here because I know we need a cornerback.
Oh, corner, okay.
Yeah, corner. So I think 4th round, maybe 5th round, you can look at a running back. I mean, he brought in some running backs, so
I agree with that. I mean, I agree. I think running back.
And Cole had a good one here. Junior Colson is still around. I like Colson a lot, but I don't know if they want to take a linebacker.
I don't think so.
NFL Network is messing me up because they're not doing a good job of putting best players available. I know it's subjective on their part, but they're not even giving a list. Which, I think I'm gonna switch over to ESPN. Although I don't want to now because, in my opinion, Giants have had a good draft, so it's worked out well. So I'm superstitious. I'll keep it here on NFL Network. All I know is Twitter is going to be on fire tonight and tomorrow with whoever this next pick is because they're already on fire with the Tyler Nubin pick. But I think give it 24 hours, people. Give it 24 hours. Let it sink in that the Giants got the number 1 safety on the board and the best player available at that spot.
And also keep in mind the 2nd round, as it was unfolding, there was a run of so many good quality corners getting taken. I mean, I know Shawnee believes this. If that wasn't the case, I think we would have saw a cornerback going round 2. I think we would have seen one of those guys that got taken become a Giant. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, and again, if you want to be upset they didn't trade up to get, that's a different story than being upset they didn't draft the corner in that spot. Because again, whoever they would have taken that spot is not better than Tyler Nubin, in my opinion. Who did Washington just take? All right, Washington just took a lineman finally, tackle.
Yeah, he's a quality guy. Brandon Coleman, is that who I'm looking at?
Yeah. But again, Washington had a line that was a little bit better than us, and this is the first time they're taking a lineman in the draft in round 3. So, and if the Giants come out of this draft without an interior lineman, I'm not going to be mad because again, I think they upgraded in the offseason. They added a lot of O-linemen. They'll have competition at the O-line spot. They're better than what they were last year. They upgrade from last year. That's all I'm going to say. And as always, Truth, I don't mind taking the heat with my takes or picks. or thoughts? I'm Gen X. So, New York, and Gen X proud.
It's going to see what they get. Will they go offense? Will they go defense?
I know.
They have 2 picks. They split them. The first 2 picks, they split it.
All I want to know is, listen, I waited almost 4 hours now, man. I got to know, how did I do? How did I do?
As your debut?
Yeah, Cold. Truth, I'll ask you too, but Cold, I got to know, man. How did I do?
You did good. You did good.
Okay. Thank you,
You
Truth.
did good. Very good. It's one thing I don't like to do. I don't want to be the lead speaker.
There you go.
It's not my comfort zone.
All right. Cold, what do you got for me? How'd I do, man? Because I know you're the biggest critic here, so I gotta know. Just so you know, I didn't ask him that question to get that answer. I just want you to know. But Cole, I also want to know, man, you digging the Giants blue here on the microphone, and how am I sounding, man? I wanted to sound better. I was all pumped for this draft to sound better. All right, hold on. I'm gonna put this up from Mark. Here we go, Truth. Nice. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. It's a fun crew. I told you we were gonna have fun. This was the point of tonight, having fun, letting the Joker loose. We got the Jokers in the background, the lighting up. So we'll see. You guys, listen, now that I've hosted, you guys might not see me for a while again live. I don't know. Yeah, truth teller. All right. It's like that line with Vince Vaughn and Cold in Couples Retreat. I know my truth. I know my truth. I mean, I don't know. How can you not have fun with this group here, Truth?
No, this went really quick tonight. It really did. I've been up since 3:00 in the morning. So
that's pretty good. You lasted. Listen, I know. Make sure you give Spartan a hard time too, because he normally hosts with you, and let him know that it went back quicker than anyone he hosted. Spartan's my boy. I know he popped in earlier, but man, I'm jealous of that dude right now.
Yeah, I texted him and asked him if you want to come on the show, but he was having dinner.
Oh, okay. Did you see the picture of him with neighbors and license plate guy and all those?
Yeah, I did.
Man, oh man. And he got to be on Good Morning America. Oh, here we go. Best fail. All right, you got Peyton Wilson, Junior Colson, Andrew Phillips. Got a tackle Jones out of Texas, Marshawn Lloyd, Roman Wilson, Hunt. Dorless is still there. Dude, I would not be surprised if it's Phillips. Because did the Giants have? I gotta look. Did the Giants have Newman on their top 30? Because Joe Shane has done at least one pick that wasn't on his 30. That surprise pick, and I think Newman was it.
So you look at Phillips as a better value than Jackson, Corey Jackson.
I mean, he's ranked a little bit higher. I mean, you can go either way. I'm just saying Phillips because he was in on a top 30 visit.
Okay.
And Cole just said Cooper Beebe is still around. So, I mean, you could take him here in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I didn't see Cooper's name taken.
Yeah. I mean, he may drop. He may drop to the 4th round.
So the Giants' 4th round pick is 107. I don't know if he'll last that long, you think?
Maybe not. I don't know, but Patriots are about to pick. I know we're delayed, but Mark just said that he thought Newman was a top 30. Let me see if I can pull it up again. I had it memorized, and then all the names and everything else going on, I forgot.
Oh, so Cole said that BB issues is just short arms.
Okay. Yeah, but that guard?
Yeah, I didn't realize guard was an issue with short arms. Okay.
Well, I mean, he was a tackle, but is he not moving the guard?
No, but yeah, he according to his scouting report, he's an excellent pass protector.
Yeah. So if he's on the inside, I mean, I understand. I mean, arms is a big thing, but if you're in an interior, I mean, unless I don't think
He's got to play guard at the NFL. I can't see him playing
yeah, he's got to. He's got to. But I love him. He's nasty and gritty and he's old school. And I do love him, but there's a reason why he's dropping.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason why he's dropping.
Yeah, see, Real Close is listed as a guard.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So
you only got one pick. We're only one pick away, guys.
So
guys, type in who you think it's going to be, guys. Type in. Let's hear it. I got to see this.
I'm looking at the top 30 visits right now.
Kitty and Wallace.
I mean, they had BB as a 30 visit. Now here's a name when we talk interior D line, and this is a guy that showed out at the combine as well. But Mason Smith, the D tackle out of LSU.
Yep.
That could be an interesting one later.
Yep. See, to me, I had Joe Shane going defensive line in round 5, like he did the last 2 years. He went late with DJ Davidson and Jordan Riley.
So they had 4 cornerbacks in for a top 30 visit. They had a guy out of Colorado State, Anusium, wouldn't be a bad one later on. Charles Smith Wade out of Washington State. So here's interesting with safety. They had Jaden Hickson out of the top 30 visit. They did not have Tyler Newman.
Wow. See, so what does that tell you?
So there's always one pick that they don't. That's a surprise pick, and it's usually in the second round. From what I read earlier today, that the Giants don't go with their top 30, but other guys they have in on their top 30. There we
Real
go.
Cole says TJ Tampa going to Giants.
All right, let's see. Boy, poor Dwayne. Dwayne, I feel bad, man. It's not the worst.
All right, come on, Dwayne. It's not bad. Come on.
Not the worst draft in years. Come on. I know.
See, that's what happens when you read too much Twitter about all these guys.
But Dwayne, we appreciate it. We love you. But there's a saying that who is the Curry, Bill Curry, right? Former player, former coach, used to call it the fellowship of the miserable. And there is definitely the fellowship of the miserable when it comes to quarterback with Giants fans. But Dwayne, we love you, man. We appreciate you giving your input here. Sorry you feel it's the worst draft in years, but it's not bad, man. It is not bad. Trust me. Harbaugh took Junior Colson. Okay, you got one of his guys. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. When you sleep tonight, Dwayne, and you wake up in the morning, you're gonna realize that they got Malik Neighbors, Tyler Newman, really, really good talent. They upgraded. Their roster is better than it was before the draft. Book it. Joker says so.
Isn't that the goal after the draft? You want to get your roster better, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and they didn't reach. That's the biggest thing. They didn't reach, in my opinion. They took BPA, right? Isn't that how many times do Giants fans say BPA, 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 except when it comes to the Giants?
Yeah. Oh, the pick's in already, boys.
All right. Listen,
the pick is in already.
Don't give it away yet. I don't know. I'm saying whoever's in the comments, don't give it away when they announce it because Truth and I are delayed. So yeah. Anyway, let Truth and I figure out who it is. That's the one thing. Listen, we have not asked for anything tonight. That's the one thing we're asking for at the end of the night. You guys have been on.
Hey, Shawnee, read Dwayne's last comment. It's pretty funny.
I saw that, yeah. Good thing you won't have to eat football. That's a good one.
Oh, boy. Who's it going to be, boys?
I think it's a corner. I don't know which one, but I think it's going to be a corner.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think it's going to be?
I can't argue with that thought. I'm gonna say it's gonna be an edge or a lineman, defensive lineman.
Okay.
I gotta say something, right?
All right. I'm gonna hide the comments for a minute. Okay, there we go. So I can't see anybody commenting right now.
I can't either.
Yeah. So
Oh, you picked it.
they just announced the pick.
Yeah.
I
You
got it right.
it.
Oh man.
Andrew Phillips.
Nice. There we go. All right. There we go. Craig, he's probably tuned out now, but you can be happy now. Guy they had in the 30 visit, SEC cornerback. That's a nice pick right there. That's a very nice pick. And he was rated up there pretty high. So there we go.
What's he gonna do here? Jump over a car?
I don't know. I'm delayed.
Oh yeah, he jumped over a car. I did that too when I was young. All right, so Andrew Phillips is a New York Giant. Okay. I don't hate it. I think it's fine. It's a good pick. He's a good player. Well, you went with athletes. These are all athletes. So Joe Shane in the free agency went in the trenches and then went for skilled players in the draft.
Yeah.
That's what he did. That's what he did.
Let me look.
You picked that one. You called that one.
Let me look at the rankings. Well, it was a top 30 visit in the third round, and he was there. So I think he was rated higher than TJ Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look it up real quick because we're going to end this. We're going to end it on that. And he loves the sport of football. So Tampa was ranked 8th. Phillips was 10th, and depending on where you look, even. I mean, they like him. They like him. So
Yeah. Well, that was a very interesting day 2. As a Giant fan, you really can't be upset. I mean,
yeah, and again, I mean, they got better. I mean, again, Andrew Phillips was in on a top 30 visit. They've done well with guys they've drafted with top 30 visits, in my opinion, right? So he's aggressive. He loves football. Bowen, the D coordinator, knows what he's looking for in a corner. So I know some things have been out there. He didn't have any interceptions at Kentucky, but to me, as a cornerback, interceptions are overrated. Like if they're not throwing at you a lot or if you're covering guys, that's what matters to me. I don't need a corner to have a lot of interceptions.
was that the case though? They weren't throwing a lot his way.
I mean, Mark's saying that he's a slot guy, but he can play on the outside. So you're playing in the SEC, and again, you don't need a lot of interceptions, in my opinion. I think it's an overrated stat in that because you look at some of the top cornerbacks that ever played a game. Some of them they don't get thrown at, right? So I don't know. I don't dislike the pick. I think it's a good pick. Truth, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna argue about it. I mean, in my mock, I had a safety in the 3rd round, but I don't see the board falling like they do, so that's fine.
Yeah,
it's a fine pick. He's a good player. I think a Kyrie Jackson would have been pretty nice. I mean, I like the length of him, but I'm reading here. Is he going to be our slot guy? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I got to look him up a little bit more. I thought he could play on the outside.
That's what I thought. I thought he played more outside, but Marcus said he was a slot guy.
Well, he's projected as a slot, but So again, if he's the slot, then maybe if they view that, so like we talked earlier, maybe Flott is the guy on the outside that they like, and they're getting their slot to replace Flott to go to the outside, right?
To compete on the CB2 side. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, right? Again, we don't know. It's a whole different thing. But I will say this: I just, one of the guys in the group I'm in, I'm going to give a shout out to the Good Vibes and Pop Culture group chat that I'm in. Nick Saban talked very highly of Andrew Phillips. So Nick Saban knows cornerbacks, right?
Yeah, he does.
So we're going to leave on that note with that thought before we head off here. But if Nick Saban has good things to say about a cornerback, I think I feel good with that. Would you agree, Truth?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to argue with Nick Saban.
Right. Like arguing with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, he knows more football than we'll ever know.
Yeah. So I'll say this, man. I will say this. The Giants, maybe you aren't impressed with the 3rd round pick, but Neighbors and Tyler Nubin, they got better. They filled positions that need help at. They got more talent. They got more elite players. And people didn't like the Cordell Flott pick either, right? He turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Who knows what other picks they didn't like that have turned out well, right? So let's be encouraged here a little bit. They filled
let's give these guys a chance, right?
Yeah.
Give them a chance.
Right? Like, so, and again, they know him well. They had him in for a 30 visit. What I'm noticing, they're going for guys that are physical, aggressive, guys who love football. That's with all 3 of these picks, that's what they've done. And that's what you want, right? If you got guys that love the sport, they're passionate, they're aggressive, they're physical, that's what the Giants have been lacking. So let's see what happens here. And then, they got more to go. So listen, we appreciate everybody that came on tonight, went live, everybody in the comments. We absolutely appreciate and love all you guys. Thanks for making it fun. Appreciate you guys making my debut fun here tonight. And from Truth and myself, man, you guys are the best. Keep it up, and let's enjoy the rest of the draft, and go Giants.
Take care, everybody.